now listening to Human Beings.
We're live, baby.
Live, episode 20. What a milestone, bro.
Yes.
And we're welcoming our boy Geniside.
Yeah, you already know the
Geniside.
deal, man. It's the kid Geniside in the building.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey, Geniside, the owner of Quarantine Studio.
Quarantine Studios, yes. Located here in Belleview, Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Holding
yeah.
it down definitely for all your audio needs. You know what
Come
I'm saying?
check it out. That's how it
Yeah.
sounded official.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been working on that.
That
Trust me,
sounded,
practice makes perfect.
that
you know
sounded
what
like
I'm
a
saying?
real radio promo right there.
Hell
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate, man, for real. I appreciate you guys having me, man. 20 episodes, you know what I'm saying? That's big.
It is,
Definitely
bro.
congratulations to y'all. Wish
you,
y'all
thank
many
you.
more. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? And it's an honor being on the 20th one. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
That's
dope.
fire.
That's
bro.
dope.
That's
yeah.
fire.
I caught it on the right one. You feel me?
And especially because, that was 2021. Never mind. I was going to say, especially because we recorded my mixtape here in 2020, but it was actually 2021. But I'll take it.
That's good enough.
Close
You know
enough.
what I'm saying?
Then we should have saved you for the next one. Nah. It's crazy, too, because our audio sounds way crispier in here. I don't know if you notice.
Yes. Yeah.
The acoustics
Yeah,
treatment.
that's technically what it is. Probably the way the reverb and stuff is bouncing around the room. You know, the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scientific stuff.
Hey, well, we're going to get into all that, bro. So how did you even end up? Well, I guess first, what were we going to say?
No, go ahead. I'm on the same line as you.
Okay,
right
so
there.
I know we talked about it briefly before, but I would like to find out even more in depth if we can. But how did you even start with this career field? Like this isn't your average day-to-day job. You feel me?
It wasn't even in my plans, honestly. I wasn't doing this in high school. Definitely.
Wow.
I caught this late. I could say I was as far as the whole production aspect and doing the whole studio thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, being a Puerto Rican, the Latin roots, the
Whoop, whoop.
family, you already know.
Body,
you know,
body.
yeah, you know the loud music, the Spanish music. Everybody in the family either being some type of musician or something like that. You know, so at least that's always been there. You know what I'm saying?
What did you play?
Me, nothing.
He was the outcast.
Hey, video games. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Video games. But it was just one of those things, man. Again, it's been in the roots. You know, my brother, I would say out of anybody, my brother gets the most credit because he's the one that was my biggest musical influence growing up for the fact that, you know, he's 9 years older than me. He's been a professional DJ for so many years, and he's a musician also. He plays for, you know, he's like a hired musician. He plays for all different types of bands, you know, Latin music. He's in the Latin market. So from that, you know what I'm saying, just stemming from the whole DJing, because he used to DJ hip-hop parties and all that too. So, you know, as far as like understanding the culture and enjoying the music and stuff like that, that came from him. You know what I'm saying? I was just that annoying little brother that was just always trying to be around him and his homies. You know what I'm saying? He always had a DJ set in his room. His room was
Those are
set up
fire.
for that. You know what I'm saying? So it was always sounding lit in his room.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I wanted to hang out with him, but I was exactly the young one. You know? So it was always
He was like, get the hell out of here.
Get out of here.
Because you
know?
said you were 9 years younger, right? So that's kind of
Yeah.
a big gap.
That's a
Yeah,
huge
huge-
gap.
yeah,
'Cause
huge
I'm
gap.
5 from almost 5, 4.5 from mine, and I feel like that was a big gap.
And I'm
Yeah.
3 from my older brother, so I feel like, you know, I was younger, but I was still
in the
Yeah,
realm.
yeah.
I feel like 3 is like the max that you could. Well, for most people, it's the max that you could probably still end up kind of tight growing up.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I feel
facts,
like- yeah, I
facts.
feel like
because
once
you know
you hit-
what, that's true right there. Because I can personally say, like, even growing up, not in a negative way at all, but like me and my brother weren't close. That gap, obviously, you know what I'm saying. His mentality. I'm just a little kid, you know. I
Yeah.
cared about video games and being annoying. He was already doing his little music thing, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with his friends, and on that level already, where he was already building himself with that type of career anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because he enjoyed music so much. So it was just I was like the distraction. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I would just get annoying. So, but literally, that's literally where it like kind of stemmed from, in the sense of where the musical background came from.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this wasn't something I had in mind at all. You know, it's like it's crazy because sometimes I still have those moments where, like, I'm in this room and I'll be like, man, you know, like that turning point. Like, man, I really didn't have this as a career at all. You know, in high school, I was into sports and BSing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where'd you grow up, by the way? Where was all this
Okay,
happening?
so technically, when I turned 1, because I was born in PR, we moved to Jersey.
Okay.
And then in
Sorry
Jersey,
to hear that.
you know. So anyway, yeah. So we moved to Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Lasted about 9 years up there. moved to a couple cities around Jersey, and then came down here. So I would say going into being 10 years old was when I moved out here. I've already been out here in Ocala about 27 years.
Okay.
So most of me growing up and my childhood, even though I can remember a lot of things about New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, it was all out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
27 years ago in Ocala area. What was that like?
There was no life. I felt like one of the first settlers. You know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine that back then.
Bro, it was bad. You know, I'll put it to you like this. In 95, because that's when we came down, I think it was like May or June of 95. Again, I was small, but I can remember clearly because imagine going from a city life and then you come out here and
that's traumatizing.
There's no life at all. I remember, you know, even like 200 alone. You know, if anything, we had maybe the mall and a couple restaurants, but 200 looked like 484, you know, barely any businesses. It was just straight woods. You know,
it's funny because I would still say we have a mall and a couple of restaurants.
Yeah,
but
okay,
but it's a lot.
You want to know something? Yeah, it was a whole. Yeah, it was probably just the mall and literally a couple
2 restaurants, and it took you 20 minutes in between each one to get there.
You know what I'm saying, to get there. And then the thing is you know, you laugh because it's like, man, this place was dark. And what I mean by dark, man, especially like in Marion Oaks where I moved to, you know what I'm saying, originally, there was no light posts. There was nothing to light up your way. So it was like you're driving, looking for your house in the middle of the night, in the middle of the woods. It was like a scary movie type deal. One wrong turn, everything looks the same and you're screwed. You're like in this maze that you can't get out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like the life out here was very, very, like I'll put it to you like this. If it wasn't for video games when I was a child out here, you know what I'm saying? You really didn't have much of entertainment. And then you could say if you had a neighbor would be like far away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you needed, man, you know, bicycles riding around the block until you run into some life form.
It's not chilling on the stoop seeing the whole block roll out.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, you know, you wake up and it's all litty outside. Yeah. Nah, it's like you wake up and straight woods everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And then at the time then, you know, when there was less population, obviously, there was more, you saw more of the natural wildlife. Out here, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you always hear about encounters and people post on social media, oh man, there was a bear in this area of town this morning to get a video. Let me tell you something.
That happened the other day.
When you first moved out here in 95 type deal, a bear, wildcats, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever animal that literally was considered wildlife, like natural habitat in Florida, it was out. You feel me? If there was a such thing as that Florida panther being loose and being around, there was a good chance you were going to run into one just for the fact that there was really no population, bro.
Yeah.
It was
they were just
woods.
living. Yeah,
they were just living. They were still. This was still their home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt when I moved down here. Damn. It's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause literally, bro, it was just like every other day you come outside, you'll witness an animal or something like that, but no human life form.
That's
crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was
Damn.
like really dead out here.
Yeah,
So
in Kissimmee, we felt like it's growing a lot, but here, that's why I asked you that, because 27 years in Ocala is way worse than what we've experienced from Kissimmee growing up.
And I'll tell you what, too, like, it was one of those things that I personally can say, it felt like it took a while. It took a while for it to, like, boom, too, because, man, from, like, 95 to, like, what, you know, that I can think of, man, early 2000s, like, it was still slow in development. You feel me? But it's like all of a sudden, I would say it did like the whole Roswell conspiracy thing. Like all of a sudden, next thing you know, technology boomed after something crash landed. That's how it felt in Ocala. Like all of a sudden, technology just got here, and then you know, here we are now. This place is getting heavily populated by people from up north. It's just flooding. It's growing so much faster, and it just felt like it took forever for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why people who have been here so long, they have an issue with. Or a lot of people, not everybody, don't like the rapid growth that's happened here because they were there when it was nobody, and now everybody's invading their home, and they're like, we don't want to see it grow. They got the WEC, you know, World Equestrian Center now, which is going to be crazy money, been bringing crazy money.
Now, I'll tell you one thing though, is that there's been so many opportunities for Ocala to have big things like that already, even in the past, even in the 90s and the early 2000s. There's always been things that have been brought to the city as a huge opportunity to bring tourism and stuff like that. But again, you know, that small amount of people, it was almost like a cancel culture in a way. We kind of formed because if it was such a small amount, and this town pretty much knew each other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is being such a small town. Like those decisions, it was like, no, we don't want it here. It really wasn't gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? So again, I remember when I think it was a Ramada. George Steinbrenner owned part of the Ramada or something like that. And they were trying to build either, I don't know if it was a stadium or something at one point out here too. But again, you know, Ocala's so small and they like this laid back feel, and we don't want what inevitably happened anyway. Everybody flooding down here. You know, they were just canceling anything that would have brung any type of like life into this place. You know what I'm saying? For so many years. So that's why also like I felt like it took forever to develop, because you could say you know, no offense to them, but this was for the older community in a way. So they fought really hard to make sure, man, for years they fought really hard, you know what I'm saying, for this not to have that type of growth to where next thing you know you have all this like activity
and young kids out here wilding, which they are.
Yeah, exactly. You see it.
Yeah, which
you know
they are.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, by the way, before it distracts me more, I'm gonna just ask the professional if you could just lower this a little bit, just so you're more in the top, like there. Yeah, bring it down a little bit. Bring it down, like pull it. There you go. Just because it catch, like try to talk into the the top.
Okay, bet. I got you. Gotcha.
Just because these aren't as expensive as your mics, you know what I'm saying?
Excuse me.
No, but
we'll edit that out later.
Yeah. But so at that time when you moved here, you still weren't really focused on music though, because you were stuck on video games.
Again, right? I'm only 9 or 10 years old. Maybe nowadays, you know, kids at that age will start getting into music because there's a lot of like little musical geniuses nowadays. But back in the days, video games. You know, I wasn't even, again, this whole like music phase in my life didn't happen till like after high school. You know what I'm saying? During high school, I was in junior ROTC. I was
me too.
You know what I'm saying? My family, you know, background. My father was in the Marines. My brother was in the Army. My aunt was in the Army. You know, the whole military thing. So I tried that approach, you know, during high school before making that real decision, and I found out during high school that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But again, music wasn't in the picture. It really actually came from a weird opportunity, and then where it went from there was where I could say the whole situation kind of like blossomed. You know what I'm saying? Because really, I remember it clearly. Like the day that I would say that all this became a factor was I was playing ball in the basketball courts in Marion Oaks. Any typical day as a youngin', you know what I'm saying? Nothing about music, just hanging out, balling. You know what I'm saying?
He don't know nothing about that.
Oh, okay. So you don't ball.
I'll dunk on him right. I'll dunk on him right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're not talking play school rims, okay? We're not talking play school rims here.
I didn't specify.
But yeah, man, I was just balling, bro, and went home. You know what I'm saying? Got to the crib, and my brother was there, and there was this gentleman sitting with him. Because we, you know, we had like a Florida room, like the Lanai or whatever you call it. My brother had all his equipment set up back there, you know, his DJ equipment, live sound too, because he went to NYU, studied for sound engineering.
Oh, okay.
So again, my brother was a big, you know what I'm saying? Because but it was just one of those things that I seen him do it, and subconsciously I picked it up, but I was still not like full fledged, like, oh, I want to do music. You know, it was just like, man, he did that, that's cool, and I kind of picked it up from him.
That was like me and barbering at that age too.
Yeah, so like pretty much, man, I got home. This dude was just there with my brother in the back, and my brother just randomly out of nowhere, he's like, "Hey, dude, come here. Hey, man, this dude needs some backup singers. I play in a band for him or whatever, and he's like desperate. He has some gigs coming up, man. They're paying gigs and blah blah blah. And I'm over here like, you're crazy. You know why? Because again, like you just coming up to me with this opportunity about like being a backup singer. First of all, I don't sing. I don't listen to Latin music for as much as is in my roots. I'm a hip hop kid, you feel me? Yeah. So I told my brother, like, man, you beyond crazy. Then of course, you know, as a young kid, then they offer you the money. That's when things change. Oh, bro, man, he's willing to pay you, you know, for the weekend or whatever, man, 2 or 3 hours just to. Nah, I still won't do it, man. It's embarrassing. I ain't gonna do that. My homies don't know me for that. Like, what? Man, I don't even do music. But in the back of my mind, it's like, man, I can make that much for that weekend real quick. You know you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, man.
And buy more video games.
There you go. Okay,
like, now we're catching on.
You see, this guy knows me already. So it was something like that, man. And then it was eating me because it's like, it still sounds good for the weekend, man. If it's just for 2 hours and, you know, it's going to be somewhere where people don't know me anyway because it's like Latin.
So that thing, was your prime reason not to was the social factor.
It was you could say the social factor because nobody knew me for doing music. And definitely I didn't go around listening to Latin music, no Mark Anthony or no nothing like that. Like
I was jamming it now.
You know, now I do, you know what I'm saying? But like that was my family thing. You know, me, I was the Okay, so I was the only kid in my family that was raised in the States. My brother and my sister were born also in PR, but they went to school out there. Like I'm the black sheep of the family because I'm the one that learned English and first and then Spanish. Everybody else learned Spanish first and then English. And I'm the one that always says this. And it's always funny when I say it because it's like, man, it sounds ridiculous, but I prefer hamburgers and hot dogs over rice and beans any day.
What?
That's how,
Still?
Yeah, still.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Still, I'm an American.
Well, that's a wrap for episode 20 then.
Cut it right there. We'll be back soon. No. But, it was one of those things, like, honestly, man, being out here so young, the only person that I had to speak Spanish to was my mom because at the time, now she's been a mail carrier for years. She picked up English and she speaks it. You know what I'm saying? But when we came out here, she didn't know none. So that's the only person that I spoke to that I had to speak to in Spanish. You feel me? So the way me and my mom would do it when I was young is I would teach her, English. She would teach me Spanish through reading like story time books. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then like that, But so yeah, again, I'm the American kid out of the family. You feel me?
Gringo.
Like, yeah, I'm the gringuito. You know what I'm saying? It always sounds better when you throw the ito.
That's I love it. Yeah.
That. But
term of a
so yeah, again, when this opportunity came and he's telling me to do something that's way out of my comfort zone and not even something that even crosses my mind. It was the social factor, man. Yeah. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. One of the first things I said as a joke was like, man, I ain't trying to look like one of the kids from Menudo. Menudo is Ricky Martin and that little group that he started in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I'm not doing that. That's a reputation on the line. You feel me? But I did it anyway. And it's crazy, bro. Like I said, the money.
That takes some real guts, bro. I'll tell you.
Money. I'm not gonna lie. Money.
Hey, at that age, bro, you trying to get some J's, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, games.
But even to be able to do that though, you didn't even have a background in singing.
None at all.
And you were just like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a singer.
Yeah, exactly.
A backup singer. Like that is like I could understand if you like had some experience singing, you're like, okay, I'm into it. But no experience at all, you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna just be a backup singer.
I didn't even know
that
I
is
had
crazy.
it in me. I didn't even know I had it in me. Because like I never sang in my life. I'm not a singer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a singer. I don't have a voice. But it was just the fact that, no lie, when you hear $150 to $200 for like a couple hours of just backup singing and you just gotta fake it. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it to you like this, and this is just keeping it real. When I first started, you know what I'm saying, that I actually like I ended up working out after that little practice that day or whatever, and he was like, man, I'm gonna use you anyway because you're a young kid, you're a fresh face, I'm an old guy, I need backup singers that can attract the ladies, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying?
You had them hips moving in the back.
Plus, come on, I was playing ball, I was balling out, I was a fit kid somewhat, you know what I'm saying? So I was in shape in a way, so the image thing worked out, you know what I'm saying? And bro, after that, man, like it went from that day doing that to like all of a sudden it became a thing. You feel me? Like I found myself doing it now for more than just
the weekend.
The weekend. You know what I'm saying? And from there, that literally was like the beginning of it all, right there.
How long did you end up doing it for?
Okay, so I started at the age of 16.
Okay.
When it came to that, when I officially started doing the band thing, and then I actually did that till about like I was like 22. 23.
Oh damn. That's a nice stretch, man. You put in a whole contract.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's crazy how things develop, you know what I'm saying? Because you never expect, from a weird opportunity like that, again, I was brave, but it was just because of the money factor. I was just like, man, $150 to $200, I could buy myself some cool shit. You know
it's like, who cares if I look stupid? They gonna pay me.
Exactly, because I'm playing in front of people that never don't know me, and none of my friends know these people, and then I ain't got to worry about shit.
Yeah.
It's out of town anyway, you know what I'm saying? But no lie, bro. Like the first couple gigs though too, since my voice I didn't have a voice. It was just for the look. Bro, I used to perform and my mic would be shut off.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was waiting
I'm not gonna hide it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the beginning stages. You feel me?
You just had to get over it. Yeah.
But it was cool though because it was like shit. I know I can't sing, and you still want to pay me to fake it? I can Milli Vanilli it on stage and just look pretty up there.
That's still a skill too. That's still a skill.
And shit, it worked. You feel me? It became a job. So. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
I can see him doing that too, for sure.
I'll be up there. They turn off my mic. I'll be like, "Yo, Yo, it's not working.
But yeah, he'll secretly turn his mic on in the back.
In my case, I was like, okay, it's off, right? Okay, it's off.
I'd be like, hold on. My shit's not on.
But he'll say it live on the show. It's like, wait, hold on, everyone. My mic is off.
Yo, facts, right? Like, yo, why you cut mine off like that? You know what I'm saying? I'm the best one in the group.
Yeah, for real. I gotta let them know. You know
For real, facts. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, I didn't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Just starting off, I didn't mind it. I was getting paid good. You know what I'm saying? And, again, it went from... It was only supposed to be, according to my brother, when it first came up, it was only for a couple of weekends because he needed just a replacement until he had like official people that were gonna stay.
Mm-hmm.
But then it became a thing.
That you were the official person.
I ended up actually.
They turned that mic on.
Yeah, they turned. I got there.
Yeah.
I finally got there. One day, you know what I'm saying?
How long?
I honestly probably like maybe 4 to 5 months into it.
Oh, that's
you know
not bad. For a minute, I thought you were gonna say 4 years. I was like, bro, you did it for 5.
So check how fast though, man. Check how fast things can change though, because I took that chance that night. Reputation and all. I'm only 16 years old, but even then, you know, reputation is a thing when you're in high school.
Hell
you know
yeah, that's everything in high school.
That's everything.
For
you know
real.
what I'm saying? And that's the last thing I wanted cats to know me. Like, oh man, you did the Ricky Martin move. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? But it worked out. It's crazy because a year, literally, it was like about a year right after that day.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up getting signed. You know what I'm saying? It went from like a ha-ha to a like, okay, this is serious, to then next thing you know, like we really got signed. We became like a big deal. You feel me? So my life like kind of like changed instantly.
That's
because,
crazy.
Like when I tell you like us getting signed and, you know, because you always hear about like, you know, when an artist does get signed and there's a big hype about it, bro, like it was like shocking, but the way everything went,
mm-hmm.
Like literally, bro, I experienced things from the age of like 17 to like 21 that I could say now. That's why, in a way, I never really approached the artist route nowadays as much as back in the days, or even with the music I do now, because I kind of enjoyed and lived a lot of that experience that you would as a signed artist when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it so early that, you know, I kind of burned myself out and you know, went through it all, man. All the different phases of what that lifestyle could bring: the money, the popularity, but also the responsibility, the trust issues if you're in a relationship. Like every aspect of it, I dealt with all that at a young age. So like it kind of like now years later, now that I'm older, I'm 36. You know what I'm saying? And nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, it hurt me just as much when I said it. You know
Hey,
what
I'm about to
saying?
be 30 this month,
I'm
bro.
30.
Oh, so you
I'm
see,
30,
you guys,
so.
okay, so you're gonna start feeling the bumps and bruises
Oh,
soon.
I've
Just
already
letting
felt
y'all know, you know what I'm saying?
Not me.
Shit's
I'm
gonna
hella
get
Well,
real.
not on all fruits
Listen,
day
shit
7.
will get real. Just know that, okay? But
Yeah.
like, it will
Bones
get real.
cracking.
But yeah, man, you know, being at this age now is like, you know, with the capabilities and the stuff that I know I can do now on my own and pushing myself as an artist, like I don't even look forward to none of that anymore. Like, you know, like honestly, I'm in such a good place. I'm doing what I love to do. Like all those experiences that I guess a lot of kids nowadays are hyped about, you know, with these opportunities of being a rapper or whatever. I went through that as a Latin artist, a young kid, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? We had gotten signed to Universal Music Latino. You know what I'm saying? Protel Records. It was one of the biggest record labels in Miami. It was such a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because,
My bad.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you go into what it actually means to even be signed? Like I have no music background as far as understanding the industry. He has some background in understanding, but like what exactly does that even entail?
Okay, so you know, here's the thing. The way I'm gonna explain it to you was maybe how it was back then.
Okay.
Because this was at a time where, I'll put it to you like this. Honestly, social media wasn't a factor. You feel me? Like that. Like it wasn't such an impact as far as for independent artists to, like, that was in an era where you were still looking forward to getting signed. Like nowadays, you look forward to staying independent because honestly, like being signed, the obligations and the fact that it's almost like you're slaving for somebody, you know what I'm saying, to pay them back because they give you all these advancements to make you look good. You know, to maintain this lifestyle because obviously you're their artist and they need you to maintain that whole make me that money factor.
That
but
image,
at the end of the day, you always owe somebody back. You feel me?
I think that's what, even to this day, so many kids don't understand.
Yeah,
bro.
they don't understand. It's an obligation.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, it sounds messed up, but it's like you are signing your life away because from that point on, you know what I'm saying? like anything you do creatively, you have no control over. You create these things when they tell you to, and then it's at the same time like, oh yeah, for some money. So in other words, you're sacrificing control over your creativity for a check.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. So like, if I would, if this was a label, right? He had his own record label. And then I'm an artist, like top artist in town, which I mean just happens to be true in this example. but let's say I'm an artist and they decide they want to sign me. Basically, they sign me for, let's say, an obligation of 2 or 3 albums, right? And then the deal is, let's say, a $2 million deal for 3 albums. So they pretty much the exact payouts and when could change, but they pretty much lend me up front $2 million, right? And I have that 2 mil, but now with that $2 million, I have to produce 3 albums. So yeah, I got signed for 2 mil, but I have to use that money now to actually record. You feel me? Yeah. So it's like they're basically borrowing that, but what usually happens is those kids come in and they have they get that 2 mil, they go buy the Ferraris, the chains, everything else, and then now they have 200,000 to produce 3 albums. You feel me? Yeah. You can check that out if you want, bro.
Yeah, man, let me go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, so they're basically borrowing the money up front, and then when they have that money, now they have the obligation to make it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so they're borrowing the money up front, but do they get paid more after that? Or is that just the money? They give you $3 million.
They make their money,
and you get the album, and that's it.
So they will get, again. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but they will. So they can get royalties off the money. They're not going to get as much as the label will. They can get royalties off that, but where artists really make their money is off merch and live shows.
Okay, so
touring.
That is 100% correct. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like you make chump change off of your music.
Yeah, it's the shows.
It's the shows. Again, like you said, the merch, it's the things that you pretty much do for yourself to create that income. Because again, like if you even want to talk about like, let's say releasing a song and making money off of streams, if you realize it, let's say if you look at the stats, you can make 1 million streams, right? And they pay you like 0.003 to each play. So for every 3 to 4 plays, you get a penny.
So it's like 500 plays for $1, right?
Yeah,
on
something like that. Yeah, something like that. You know what I'm saying? You see how you're not making any money. Realistically, all that hard work, technically, let's say you spent $500 to do that song and you release it and you get 1 million, it still didn't make that $500.
So their main reason to do it is because now if you sign, that global label is gonna push and distribute your name.
It's to create the foundation for you as an artist, really. Yeah. So they're upfront. They're putting the money up front for you to create that image, to create the album, and the stuff that pretty much they're investing in you to do that.
It's pretty much they front you the money for you to get that work done with the promise of whatever you come up with should be able to produce to make that money back for them with interest. And at the end of the day, once that check is cut, then they give you the chump change that's left over because. That's the thing about it too, they're not the only ones that get paid. The person who books the studio time for you, this whole network that they have, everybody, that's the thing about it. Everybody gets paid first before the artist.
The team,
when you're signed, technically everybody gets paid for before the artist.
So it's more like they'll give you $2 million, but you have to use their people or studios.
You're going to use that. Okay, so they give you the $2 million and they have a network built for you, right? But with this $2 million, you're paying out of pocket for the studio time, for the album creation. So they're giving you all this money to build your image and get your album ready with the whole aspect of we got to make that $2 million back plus that extra change. And then after that, once everybody's paid off, this is what you made for all that hard work.
But since they're pushing everything too, and giving you all that clout,
they're going to guarantee that money. Yeah, they're going to guarantee those views and that.
But you don't always get 100% creative freedom because their label is on it, right? That's where those A&R guys come in and those.
Okay, so that's one thing that something similar that I'm kind of dealing with an artist that I work with. That's the thing. Like your creative control is out completely out the window when you're signed. Why? Because if there's a specific agenda or style of music or whatever it is they specifically are trying to market and target, they're going to mold you into that specific product that they want to target. So again, you might have a great voice and you write all these wonderful original songs, you know what I'm saying? But if they want you for that voice, for specifically pop only, and you sign to them, you're only doing pop.
And it only heartbreak songs.
You know what I'm saying?
They want you to do only heartbreak songs.
And I'll put it to you like this. If it takes you getting your hair colored and different, you know what I'm saying? If it takes you rocking whatever it is, if it's the dress or the tight jeans or the
get your ass injected,
whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, bro, like you. And when you're signed, you have to do it.
And it's for the and
it's
when
an
you're
obligation.
and usually the people who want that, they want the fame so bad that they're willing to do anything, and they'll sacrifice anything.
So are there like instances in your guys' experience of like artists that decide not to do that, and what happens to them if they don't? Do
okay,
that?
so I'll put it to you like this.
I have one too.
Realistically, if you sign an agreement and you go against that agreement, what happens? When
you're crushed.
You're crushed. Blackballed or sued, whatever the case is, because at the end of the day, sad to say, it's still about the money when you're signing on a piece of paper. Because, again, nowadays, hard work beats talent.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So if they know you can make that money, even though you have no talent at all, you're going to become that workhorse. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, like, honestly, again, me in my case back in the days when I did the Latin band thing, you know, we didn't have all that social media. So yes, we were looking forward to getting signed in those days because you didn't have all these platforms that you can utilize for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It was only record labels that had these networks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you were working for that slaving deal. You feel me? Because that's the only way your music was going to get out there.
You had no option.
You had no option. Yeah, there was no MySpace really yet. There was nothing for you to really start branding yourself by yourself. That independent thing, it was that didn't. And even,
that's why
that didn't even exist.
That's why. So I would assume that's why artists wanted to get away from that after like their first time being a label.
Yeah, pretty much, because what it is when you realize,
because they set that foundation already, and if they get that clout and that fame already, now they could just do whatever the hell they want. They don't have to be a slave.
Yes, unless you want to look, if you want to dig deeper into how serious things can
let's go.
be.
We only go deep.
Oh, you want to go deep?
No homo.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go all the way. So check. Check it. Let me put it to you like this: if you're one of those artists, let's say you sign a deal, right? Because you are like the best. All right, let's put it like, we just signed Drake type deal, right?
So the opposite of him.
Yeah, pretty much. Whatever he is, the complete opposite. So you are a moneymaker, right? Let's say you are our moneymaker, but you realize that I'm juicing you for all your money. I'm the label, and I signed you. I'm juicing you for all your money, right? But since you're my top dollar, when that contract is up, right? And you decide, because you know for yourself, man, I'm only getting chump change when I know if I go independent, these people have been screwing me or whatever the case is. Trust me, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're my top dollar money maker, that's when shit's going to get serious, because you think I'm going to let you go so easily? Even if the contract is up, you think I'm going to let you go so easily then? You know what I'm saying? Why you hear so many mysteries about, man, like, if you, again, let's get deep. You know what I'm saying?
Deep. Yeah.
You ever heard about like, as soon as somebody buys their masters,
they die.
Why? Because you pretty much took away the gold mine
that industry.
for that label, or that label probably depends off of you solely to keep that label running in order to feed every other person they have in their roster and to keep their network running. You are that one person that they're making all their money from, and you decide to dip. Of course.
So it's better for you to not be there and be competition for their label now.
Yeah. If you go on your own and independent, now you're taking all those numbers away. Now I'm not making that money. Now there's an issue, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where you hear all those conspiracies. Like, man, because it's like it's a coincidence. Once a person buys all their masters, somehow they're, publicly either their careers get destroyed. You start hearing allegations about things that just cropped up out of nowhere, or they're gone. Why? Because now, if we can't take that money for ourselves, you're definitely not going to run with it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But what are masters, by the way?
So masters are like your music. Okay, so when you go to a song and you get a master, it's like, you're getting that seal of approval. That song is like legit done. You know that your master. That's the highest quality. It's
the final product.
The final product. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much, I look at it this way. It's like when you're doing floors, right? Like wooden floors. You know how you buff them, sand them, and then. But that final deal, when that masterpiece is done, what do? You seal it, right? You throw that wax to seal it, keep that shine. That's the concept of a master. After you do all that creative work and you get everything aligned and sounding how it's supposed to, and everything sitting in the right frequency, then you got to throw that wax coat and make sure it stays there. So no matter what, it never loses quality. You feel me?
No matter what kind of outlet.
Yeah,
it's
no
being
matter
played
what.
through.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like for example, on a master, right? If I have a master and I go and I take that master. And I go and I send you a copy. And then you go and you send them a copy. It keeps the quality because it's a master. It has that seal. If I don't give you a master, and let's say I compress it to an MP3 just so you can share it and listen to it. When I pass it to you and then you pass it to him, every time it gets transferred, as it gets transferred, it loses quality because it compresses the file.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a master makes sure, in other words, it stays uncompressed. It stays in its natural form. You know what I'm saying? So... think about it that way. You're selling the natural form of your music to somebody. When you give up your masters, you know what I'm saying? You're giving them the
original piece.
The original piece.
Yeah.
All that hard work and that seal of approval when I sealed it because that's my masterpiece that I created. You pretty much are giving it away to somebody to give them full control to do whatever they want with that.
Or like to analogy
money, you know
with like art, it would be like having the original canvas painting versus the copy prints.
Yeah, the copy prints. Like
painting.
Comic books, you know how they have 2 or 3 different of the same issue because of the cover variants? You know, it's the same thing, but that original is the original.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where the value's at. That's your diamond, that's your gold, however you want to look at it. So when you give that to a record label, you're giving them the rights to your natural, original, the energy, everything, bro. You got to look at it that way. It's not just something sonically that you play. When you do a song, you put energy into it. You put emotion. Man, it could drain you. You know what I'm saying? It can make you. It can break you because that song could be about a message or something in your life, something that you had to put so much into. And then you give it to somebody for them to make money off of it.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then just to give you a cut.
And their heart's not in that, but your heart was in that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand everything you put through in there. They just care about the fact that, guess what? I want my cut, and I'm going to give them his for creating this because they see that it's capable of.
Yeah.
You know
Just because they have the network to do what you need to do with it.
And that's pretty much what it is. It's the fact that they have a guaranteed network. Yeah. So that's where it's like, well, you know, it guarantees me the numbers.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to be successful.
Because that network, let's say I'm a label and I have like 40,000 radio stations that I'm pumping ad money to all the time, or have other deals with. As soon as I send them a song, they're not asking questions; they're playing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm giving that's their money.
Facts.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say when you were talking about it, made me realize more because, like I said, I never really dove into the music industry like that. I listen to music, obviously, but you're kind of making me realize how powerful, how much energy and time and how valuable a song is to an artist in creating it. Because like you said, it's devoting a lot of emotion and it's an experience of that individual that's been created and expressed through a certain vibration through the electronics.
But not only that, I look at it this way. When an artist creates a song, you're documenting a part of your life that when you are not here, that piece of documentation is still here. That's still proof of you, of your person, of your experience. So in order for you to give that up to somebody, like that's tough because it's like, man, that's all you.
I would never.
That's from your natural state. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's why, like now,
he says that until someone offers him $1 million.
I would
He'll
never
sell it in a quick.
right?
I would never.
Quick.
Right there in the parking lot.
As he steps out the studio
He'll pop
here.
the trunk open. Like, oh,
Universal's about to pop up. I was just playing, dog.
Yeah,
Here's the tape. Take the tape. Jen, we out.
You know what I'm saying? Life changing quick. But yeah, man. So listen, that's one thing about it, man. One thing I've learned, I guess, even throughout this whole experience that I've had 20 years doing this type deal. Like music, man, is very, bro, music drives the world. It's the universal language. You feel me? That is the only thing in this world right now that off the top of anybody's head they can tell you that it doesn't matter if they don't understand your words, they will still say lyrics for lyrics. If they fuck with you.
Yeah,
feel
even
me?
if they don't know the language.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They'll-
saying.
you'll
They don't
start to-
understand
Well, I know
nothing,
that
but they
very
say word
well.
for
Yeah,
word,
yeah,
you know
'cause he
what I'm saying?
does-
I listen to
anime.
reggaeton a lot, like throughout growing up in Kissimmee. All my friends are pretty much Puerto Rican or Hispanic. I can sing the reggaeton songs, and I don't know
You
what
don't
they're
know.
singing.
Yeah,
about.
you don't know nothing.
But
right?
I vibe to it.
But you see, because it's a universal language.
So
And then the
nasty.
thing is and it's crazy though too, because it's like you hear it, right? And you don't need to know what they're saying, but
Yeah.
just off of the energy and the sounds itself, you kind of get an idea of where they're
Yeah.
coming
You feel
from.
it.
Yeah,
You
you
feel
feel
it.
that shit. You'll know exactly what the fuck they're talking about.
He be singing anime intros too in Japanese.
yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you something, bro. I go through that sometimes.
Oh yeah,
You watch
anime?
Listen,
I didn't know you watched
let
anime.
me tell you something, okay? I am one of the biggest Attack on Titan fans you'll ever meet. I just went through recently. You know, he was out here. I got lucky because my nephew did me the favor because I couldn't go to the Ocala Con thing when the actual voice actor of Eren Yeager, the actual Attack Titan,
Oh, he was
out
here?
here. Yeah, so I was able to get a figure with the dude's signature,
Wow.
which to
Shit.
me, out of anything that I own, Attack on
Yeah,
Titan,
yeah.
that's it right there. That's the cherry on top of the sundae because I
Damn.
got the voice actor's actual signature on the action figure.
I texted you.
That's
Remember,
dope.
I told you
Have-
when Comic Con was here, like a few months back.
I don't remember.
yeah, he
ignore.
has terrible memory.
I ignore all your texts. But what have you seen?
You're
Attack on
the only
Titan?
one then.
Nah, not
Okay.
yet.
But
Bro,
so that's
yeah.
like that. You would say that's your favorite anime?
That's my number one on the top of the list. Second,
He's hurting right
you know, second is kind of tough, man, because even I'll put it to you like this. Honestly, it competes with one other one, but I'm always gonna pick Attack on Titan just because I don't know, man. Like it's been 10 years, you know, since that it debuted, and for only to have 4 seasons and be such a dedicated,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But-
man, they put us through hell waiting for the following season when you got to wait another year or two for the next season to come out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But One Punch Man is right there. One Punch Man.
He's
right there,
hurt.
number
One
one.
Punch. I mean, those are two great, amazing animes.
Yeah, those are my
But
top 2.
what I'm gonna ask you is in your top 5 is One Piece in your top 5?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Um,
that's all I need. To know.
But I wouldn't say top 3.
That's my number
It would
one.
be in my top 5, but not my top.
You watched
3.
the whole thing?
Huh?
You've watched the whole thing?
No, I haven't watched the whole thing.
Okay.
I know they're like already 1,000
yeah.
deep. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been faithful to that. That's
Okay.
honestly why I would say it's not in my top 5.
Okay.
Too much time.
Like, are you
too much.
very far from the 1,000 episodes? or-
Probably
halfway?
around a little bit more than halfway.
Okay, see, that's why.
I'd have to make sure on my Crunchyroll, but I
Okay.
think I'm around between like mid 700.
Okay,
episodes,
yeah.
you know
Once
what I'm saying?
I mean, that's still good. That's pretty good. But,
yeah, but you know, honestly, I don't make it a priority.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you need to.
Listen,
I've watched it 3 times.
a really good one. Man, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. If you,
Yes.
it's on Netflix.
I can't remember because it's like, I remember watching some episodes on that. I don't know if I finished it.
Super dope. That one, it's almost like Attack on Titan, but instead of them being titans, it's almost like they turn into like almost like zombies or more like flesh eating monsters.
Is it when they're on the train?
the train?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. I actually
Oh,
watched that
Listen,
recently.
Oh man, I'm
Is that a
telling you
short
right
one?
now,
How many seasons? What? Why are you looking at me?
Because you said,
it's
"Oh
new.
yeah," like you watched it.
No, I was going
Oh.
to say something else.
Oh,
It's on. It just came. It just came out recently.
It
It's a
came out
newer
with
one.
animosity. He's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what?
right.
You did not watch that."
Yeah, don't lie. Don't lie.
I was gonna say, do you only watch them or do you read manga also?
I used to.
Okay.
I don't do it anymore.
Hmm.
I used to read manga, but the only time I read manga was when I was honestly with the whole Dragon Ball Z phase.
I bet.
I never got into any other ones. Maybe a little bit. I did try with My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
I
fire
just-
show.
but-
I've watched that one.
Amazing show, but that's another one too that I haven't like fully dedicated myself to watching those. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like right now, honestly, I would say, yeah, I just finished up that first season of the Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Okay.
There is one specifically that my boy told me about that I started binge watching, and honestly, like, bro, it's so deep. Oh my god!
Which one?
Like, it's really, really deep. Like the story about it, the concept about it, it really makes you think about life.
I'm
It's
wondering.
away
what you're about
from
to say.
To Your Eternity.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the title and I have not started
Okay,
it, but
listen, I don't even want to get into that conversation.
It's
but
too
if you
deep.
get a
Yeah.
yeah, it really is deep because okay, just a long story short, just to kind of scratch the surface, there's
be
a
very
orb.
general.
Okay, so there's
Because
an
I don't
orb.
want to.
Okay, so there's an orb that gets dropped onto Earth, right? And you would think it's an orb that you would say maybe God himself dropped down here. And this orb, whatever it touches, it becomes. So when it first touches down on Earth, the first thing it touched, right, was like a rock. So it took the form of a rock. And for many years, it stayed that form. Then eventually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a animal or something like that.
Are we going too far right now?
No.
Okay.
But it's just so you can get the concept,
Okay.
because it's an ongoing story. This orb, just through the experiences it goes through, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying?
That's the
where the
story.
story. That's the story.
Okay.
But it's just giving you an example, like the first episode. When it first touched down, it became like rock, and then it became something else, and then I think an animal, if I'm not mistaken, died on that rock. It touched the rock, so whatever that orb touches becomes that. So for the first time, the orb touched something that was alive.
Mm-hmm.
So it got to feel some type of emotion and all that, which is new. So it didn't know how to act as this animal, but it takes over the animal's form. And then
That story sounds crazy already. I'm trying to watch it.
So on and so forth. The animal eventually dies, and then it touches a human, and then jumps from. So as this orb touches things in life, even a tree or an animal or an insect, it becomes these things and learns from them, and it's almost like it starts to begin to understand what life really is. You know what I'm saying? And from there on, again,
sounds like our journey.
So yeah.
Okay, it sounds like your journey. Yeah, like I said, when my homie told me about it, he was like, "Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't cry for shit." But that shit like gave me a tear in my eye, because it's like it's a little too deep, and it makes you really think about life, because it's like this orb, man, learns how to talk, how to it goes through all these experiences until the point where it starts understanding emotion itself and how emotion plays into a factor in everything. Then that's when the shit really gets deep. You feel me?
Yeah.
So again,
Damn.
you need to watch
That
it.
ties
I mean,
into.
hey, you sold me. I'm
it's called To Your Eternity. So if you
Okay.
got Crunchyroll, To Your
Yeah.
Eternity.
I just haven't had time recently to be watching anime, just because I've been really busy. The only one I always keep up on is One Piece.
Okay.
Like that's the one that I
dope.
always keep up on.
Again, I will eventually sometime pick that up, but
We're gonna have
But
to
I'm
do.
glad that you know the experience of jamming to the intros of animes.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
blast them on my car sometimes
bruh.
driving. Just
Bro,
like
trust me. I sing along.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have to.
Yeah.
You can maybe produce one, bro.
Hey, you never know.
He wants to
hey,
make
I
an
want to
anime.
make an anime. So if you make an intro for me in the
Okay,
future,
so me.
this is a long
you
journey.
want to know
but-
what's crazy though? You want to know what's crazy though? Like how you always have one of those things that you like. Yeah, I wish I could do this. One of those things off your bucket list. One of the reasons why I kind of delve so deep into like audio production and stuff is because I'm a huge Marvel fan. That's my biggest addiction, Marvel stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a huge Marvel nerd, from comics to action figures to clothing to merchandise. I collect it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't miss any opening releases, because I like going there as soon as the movie's released to get the merchandise they sell in the theaters too.
Oh, they do
collectibles.
that? I didn't know.
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
that.
Only opening nights. Like
Oh, snap.
literally, like if
That
you
makes me
go
wanna go.
opening night,
Yeah.
like opening night on the Thursdays, like that's the only time that they sell collectibles that have to do with the movie. So like
shit.
special cups or popcorn holders and shit like that, like buckets and shit. They'll be like custom editions that you can only get through them.
Nobody ever told me that.
I
Bro,
never knew.
They
about
probably didn't want me to go compete for
Listen,
the
bro,
merch.
but that's just to show you how much of a fan I am. I never miss, bro, like their opening release. You know how on in theaters usually it's on a Thursday, because they release it like a day earlier from the
Like
actual
midnight on
midnight
Thursday?
on Thursday. So when you catch a midnight on the Thursdays, that's when they sell the collectibles and stuff.
I'm
You know
still
what I'm saying?
catching up
That's
on my
dope.
Spider-Mans right now because I want to get to the new one.
I just did
Okay.
that like a couple months ago.
You caught up? I just
Yeah.
finished the Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't go in order. I watched the Homecoming one first,
Mhm.
and I was like, wait, I forgot the Amazing. So I just finished the Amazing Spider-Man. Now I gotta watch the next. There's two Amazings,
Yeah, it's too amazing.
so I gotta watch that one,
Yep.
and then I got two more.
And supposedly there might be a third, because I think they're trying to bring him actually on for a contract to do a third one to kind of close out his story. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
Gotcha.
that's a whole
Yeah.
nother. But anyway, the reason why I got into also audio production is because my dream, being a Marvel fanatic, I want to get to where I can score and edit a Marvel film at some point
That
in my
would
Yeah,
be
career.
it's
crazy.
The day I do that, bro, I'm hanging all this shit up and I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
No, we gotta come
Okay,
work with
man,
your boy.
I was just playing.
Help me
Who
start a
knows?
studio. I'll do
Who
it.
knows? Because if I get at that level, that means I did my thing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
saying?
Well,
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you that too because you were talking about the industry and the dudes that come in here for music. Is that I know you want to keep a certain rapport with your clientele and you don't want to be off-putting or like overbearing. But do you, based on your experiences in the industry, kind of try to guide them in the right direction or let them know if they're not doing the right thing or what it really takes to go that direction?
Okay, so I know everybody's heard this saying, you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink.
For sure.
All right.
Mhm.
at least in my position and my experiences throughout my career, and even getting to this point, one thing about it is information is free.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If I can't tell you about it, you can look it up anyway. But if I'm able to tell you about it and maybe either create that change or bring you that awareness off rip, yeah, I'd rather tell you there on the spot, like, hey, you might need to do this or try this out, or, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, like, I look at it this way, you know, you hear stories, and, you know, even from like the aspect of me knowing other engineers and stuff like that, you know, technically when you're doing music, you know, yeah, you can say you got clients, right? But everybody comes with their own specific energy. Everybody comes with their own mind state and what they want to get done and expectations and all that. You know what I'm saying? So even those who maybe are not up to par compared to maybe others that are musically inclined, you know what I'm saying? Even though they're not there, that doesn't mean they don't have anything to offer. And that doesn't mean that they don't deserve any direction. Honestly, if anybody that goes through that door and works with me, you know what I'm saying? If there's anything I can do or anything that I can share that can help them take that extra step, or if it's a confidence thing, or if it's, you know, gaining any type of experience with musical arrangements, or understanding yourself before understanding your artistry, because you gotta understand yourself first before you put anything out there. You feel
or
me?
to be genuine,
just
with
to be genuine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I try. You know what I'm saying? I try my best. Again, it's one of those things where I'm not gonna babysit though here and try to give you all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things. It's information. Either you take it and you do something with it, or you don't. And if you didn't get it from me, you can get it from the internet. And if you didn't even bother to sit there and get it from the internet, what are you actually doing?
You ain't gonna listen for me.
You ain't gonna listen for me.
And I appreciated that when I came, because that was a concern for me. I think I told you before that I had recorded my first the songs that got me in here to begin with. I recorded at my boy's house, and he had been messing around at home for like, I think he said a year or two. And when he told me to come in for the studio, I was hype about it, but I was also kind of like, damn, I'm gonna pay you know, a professional to do this, but I know that I'm not walking into that studio with, yeah, I'm putting 100% of my time and focus into music. I'm going to the top. Like, this is all I'm trying to do. I knew I was just doing it because I wanted to do it.
Facts.
And I wanted to experience it and share what I had to share, but just also have the best quality. Because that's all I wanted. Like you said, I wanted something to leave a legacy behind.
Yeah, facts.
You know, hopefully not, I don't have to leave it behind for a real long time, but that was what I wanted to do. And my concern was, man, if I'm not in here to go 100% in this lane, is this producer, engineer, is he going to put as much energy into my project? Is he going to, because I know barbers, and I relate everything to barbering because that's my world, right? And that's what I experience. But I know that when you're a tradesman, it's very similar, because that's just how it is. Trades and the way that the relationships are similar.
Yeah.
So I know barbers that if you come to me and I know that you normally go to some whack barber, I could like half-ass my cut and it'll still be better than that cut, and you won't even know the difference. So I'll give you some half-ass cut. But that's not me giving you what you're paying for. Like, you're paying me top dollar to give you my best work.
Exactly.
And that's what I was worried about, because until you know somebody, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even when you know them, you really truly don't know them. You know what I mean? Only they know them. And that was my biggest concern. I was like, damn, I really want the best product, and I hope he doesn't half-ass my work. I hope he's, you know, a good dude, which you are, and I appreciate. I'm really.
That's not what you told me after you came recording in here. You talking mad shit.
That's not what I heard either. You know what I'm saying? But I've been reserved. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable.
You're peeping.
I'm watching you.
For real. No, but I really did appreciate it, because from when I first came in, that was the first thing I told you, bro. I'd never done this. I don't know what I'm doing. I just have this beat and these lyrics, and I'm trying to lay it down.
Yeah, facts.
And I was hoping you just did your thing, which you did, and it was. I got hooked, bro. Like, that first experience in that booth was amazing. And you know, every time I asked you a question or anything, you had patience. You didn't treat me like condescending or like, how did I not know this or anything. And to me, that's the best thing you could do for somebody.
Well, you know, I always said it this way. You know, when we're in here creating, it represents us both.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave out that door and you play that song, you might be showing it off to your homies for them to listen to you, but they're also listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm not verbally on it, it's my work also. You feel me? So I'll put it to you like this.
Yeah.
Nothing out of that door can leave half-assed, because that represents me just as it represents the artist. And if an artist leaves from here with a smile and the confidence that they can tackle it every other time, they come here from now on, then just imagine how that's resonating out there, that ripple effect. You
And
feel
in
me?
the music.
Because then in the music, and then their homies are going to be like, man, your shit sounds fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you doing that at? And how you getting that done? And
Yeah.
then when that person gonna be like, hey man, I can confidently go to this studio where it's judgment free, where I could be myself
And try things.
And try things and not worry about somebody like criticizing or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I felt that. And
Yeah,
that was the
bro.
first thing you told me because I got in and it was like in less than 10 minutes I was in the booth. And I was already like, oh shit. Like I thought it was gonna be kind of like, yo, this is where everything's at. We're doing. He was like, nah, you ready? Got the beat? Go ahead.
Let's crank.
And he was like, yo, I think the first time it was just us two. There was nobody else in here. And you was like, yo, just be comfortable, whatever. And I was, but I was also nervous because it was the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh shit, he's about to hear my shit. So I'm wondering, and I wasn't gonna ask. I already knew. I was
bad.
like,
It was bad.
I
We'll
was,
just get that out of the way.
I wasn't gonna ask. The one thing I knew not to do was ask what you thought. I was like, I'm not gonna ask him what he thinks because that's gonna put him in a spot. Like, and I just don't want to hear it unless he just volunteers the information. So I'm not gonna say it.
I'll tell you one thing. I am that guy though that I will be honest.
Yeah,
If it sounds like shit, trust me, I will tell you it sounds like shit.
yeah,
But that's because I'm not telling you to make fun of the fact that it sounds. It's like, nah, I know that's not what you came into this door to create.
Yeah.
You had a better picture than that, and so did I. So if I tell you it sounds like shit, it's because we're here and we can do something about it.
yeah,
Because you technically can't polish a turd, right?
yeah.
So that none of that shit's gonna go on here.
Yeah.
You feel me? And again, you got to respect where people come from, man. Like being an engineer, the different personalities I deal with every day, and the fact that even in my position, like you got to be able to almost like please everybody, because at the end of the day, everybody has a different set of expectations when they walk in through that door.
A very
But
versatile
you know what's
personality.
crazy though? Everybody has a different expectation, but me, though it might be different people, I have the same expectation when they walk through the door.
The best possible work.
And that's the best possible work. That's the best possible energy. And one thing about it, the vibe is very important. You know what I'm saying? Very, very important. Because again, if you don't feel comfortable, you're never gonna get it out. You're never gonna, like I say, project it the way you feel.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna be like, oh, say it. Like,
you
if I
don't
tell you say it
feel-
with your chest and you don't, I get it because you don't feel that.
You're
You
not
feel me?
confident in this
So
room
so
right now.
the vibe is the tone. You know
And
what
you
I'm saying?
did
It's so
that,
important.
and not only you though, but your circle too, because that was what I was gonna say too. Is I was nervous the first time, but you settled that pretty quick, and then we got it going, and I was feeling it, and then as soon as I stepped out the booth and I heard it, I was like, oh, let's go! Like it got me more hype.
Facts.
And even the next time I came to record, because after that first time, that's when I was like, yo, we're doing a whole tape.
Yeah, we're doing a whole
We're
tape.
doing a
Yeah, I
whole
remember.
tape.
Yeah.
And when I came back the next time, you had a couple of your boys here, your other engineers, and I was kind of like, oh shit, like they're gonna hear
your
me.
first
while
audience.
I wasn't worried about like them hearing my work, but it was like they're gonna hear me creating it. Like it's a different vibe. I don't even like my wife to hear me when I'm writing music, and you know what I mean. Not because I care, like I think she's gonna shit on me or anything, but it's just like it's a vibe thing,
Yeah, it's
you know.
a vibe thing. Yeah.
And even when I was in that booth and your boys were out here, I was already on the next level because I had done it. I was like, oh, don't matter. And then when I came out, everybody, it was still a vibe. They were all on the same page in a creative atmosphere. And even this is what I really, really fucked with was your boy Z. One day he came out.
Shout out to Z.
Shout out Z. He does dope work too. And when I came out and everybody was listening or whatever, and then they gave me feedback without asking, and I was like, oh, you think so? And he said he thought it was dope. He thought it sounded cool. But he said he was straight up with me though. He's like, yo, it sounds cool. He's like, it's not some shit I would listen to.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bang it in my car, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought that
facts.
was dope. Like that meant a lot to me
Facts.
because it was like, okay, he's not fronting on me. He's not just trying to like blow smoke up my ass. He's telling me straight up, like, yo, this ain't my type of music, but it sounds good. The sound is good.
Facts.
And that meant a lot. I was like, hell yeah. So to be around people with that energy, same thing with barbers, same thing with anything, is like to know that not everything is for everybody, but you could respect a piece of work.
Respect the work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
And if it don't sound good, it don't sound good. But
Yeah,
you got to be
yeah.
straight up.
But that's what it is, And again, like you're saying, it's who you surround yourself by though too. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna be straight up, you always hear that shit about like if you want to be a millionaire, you got to be surrounded by a bunch of millionaires because you don't want to feel left out. But if you're about around a bunch of broke people, then where your pocket's gonna
Yeah.
be. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's why I'm still broke.
But-
I've been hanging around this motherfucker.
so look at it that way with your energy. Look at it that way with exactly your creativity. You know what I'm saying? You want people who are like-minded in that sense when you're trying to do something creative and trying to put this energy out there and trying to deliver this message. Because that's another thing too. There's a lot of people though too, man, that they're not ready to bust that first move. You know what I'm saying? They might be hyping you up, but they've been scared to bust their own first move.
Yeah.
And when they're able to even see through you how you gain your own confidence and come in here, you know, it just resonates. That ripple effect
Yeah.
again.
That's
you know what I'm
heavy,
saying?
bro. I've been experiencing. Were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead,
I've
go
been
ahead.
experiencing that a lot lately, and this whole process from the time we met to the time like I started professionally barbering has been that exact process of understanding and experiencing that. The more I feel myself, and the more I genuinely know that I'm coming from myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to do anything for anything externally. I'm doing it because I truly enjoy it, and the more that you build that confidence, regardless of what's going on around you, because you know what your vision is, you know what you want to create, and then you're right. People who you see around you who don't have that confidence yet, the more they see you thriving with it. It's just that
It makes it
compounding
believable.
effect. And then it's like, oh,
It makes it believable.
and then you tell them like, bro, you're not going to have it all figured out. I do plenty wrong, but that don't matter.
But that's the part that a lot of people are scared to do is jump into something. Even like for you jumping as a backup singer, like if you didn't,
that was a straight dice
huge
roll.
jump.
That was a straight dice roll.
Yeah,
because
like-
honestly,
he rolled a
that
seven.
sounds insane to me. Like
it worked out.
Like
For real,
you
dude.
doing that, it's because you're only gonna grow when you're getting in an uncomfortable environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's when you're going. There's gonna be friction and stuff. Because that's when you're gonna be able to grow and learn new things. You learn new things, and it grew you into where you're at now. From that, him being able to jump in here and do that, even though he was nervous, a lot of people don't get to that step, and that's the hardest
facts.
step. That's the
Facts.
hardest step. Once you get to past that, everything is just now. I just got to keep putting in work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
That's
now I can only get better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's the thing that's another thing there though too. Is like you're never gonna stop growing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everything goes through a transitional era. Every so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta stay up with the times. You gotta stay up with everything. So at the end of the day, you gotta just accept the fact that you're gonna grow every day and just maintain those things that actually help that growth around you. You know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna say too, like for instance, like with our podcast, the first thing we started out was audio, right? We did a year hiatus at just doing audio. After doing audio, we transitioned to video. A lot of people already know that knew that we were doing a podcast, but now that we're at episode 20 on video, people are legitimately hitting us up like, "Yo, you guys are
You need
gonna
to do that
something."
more.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there.
But
And it took that
long.
time. Yeah, it took that time to put in because now it's just keep doing it and doing it better
Yeah, of
every
course.
day.
Doing it and doing it
And
and
doing
doing
it
it.
well.
well.
You know what I'm
Doing
saying?
it and doing Hey.
Nah,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
you're
man,
right.
it is you know that's the way it is though, man. You know, and it's dope because one thing we forget about, you know, throughout this journey, because it's happened to me plenty of times. Because there's always gonna be those reality checks that bring you back into like, you know what I'm saying. But the beauty is in the struggle. You feel me?
Beauty.
Yes.
The beauty is in the struggle.
The journey.
The journey is where you find out who you are, what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where you figure out exactly who you are.
And that's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
really where the fun is.
Yes.
That's
Because
what I'm-
once you achieve it, that it's done. It's the
done.
finish.
Yeah,
now
it's
you're
done.
on to the next
Yeah,
thing.
now you're on to the next because
and
you know
you're back to the struggle.
back to the struggle
Yeah.
again.
So-
You know what I'm saying? So it literally, man, you know, and that's okay. So going back to like, you know, how you were telling me, you know, as far as like when somebody comes in here and the expectations and,
Mhm.
you know, like again, you know, that to me, exactly when I see an artist come in here, that struggle of him trying to find himself. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
still there. I'm still there.
And me being in the position to where this person trusts me and helping them in that process of
Yeah.
helping them find themselves in that music. You know, bro, that's such a beautiful thing. You know, like I could sit here and say, man, you know, I stay busy, I make money, but the rewarding factor is when you really like what you accomplish as a person. You feel me? What a person leaves from here. Like what again, you know, we're documenting our energy, our lives, everything, and then to be able to the satisfaction of somebody wanting to come back because now they have the confidence enough to where maybe they're finally letting out all the stuff that's, you know, I'll put it to you like this, that was poison. That's saving them. You know, that's saving them. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, that's like the best part, bro.
They gotta detox emotionally.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's part of that whole beauty and the struggle thing, man. And honestly, bro, that's like one of the best things because, bro, so many personalities and just seeing people develop. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like, it helps me develop as a person, though, too. Because
exactly.
It's a whole different perspective that I never seen, and something that you know, everybody has something to offer. You know what I'm saying? And man, bro, like shit. Again, I could say I feel like I'm the shit sometimes at this, but really, like, people always remind me that, yeah, like there's still plenty for me to grow and experience through others. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know. Sometimes people come up to me and be like, man, you helped me out so much. But it's like, man, you helped me out so much.
Yeah, we talked about that in a recent episode,
You know
that a lot of people don't have that ability to learn through the experience of others.
Yeah.
And, you know, they might be able to feel that emotion. That was actually a comment we had gotten on TikTok for that video, was people saying, oh, well, that's being an empath. That's being empathetic. And that's not, because being an empath or empathetic is to resonate and feel the feeling or the emotion that person is going through, which is strong. But to actually learn from their experience, third person, that's a different skill. I don't know if there's a real word for it.
I know, but you want to know something, though? You got to also be the type of person to allow yourself to feel those things.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you know what? One thing about it is we're all capable of the same thing. We are the ones that close ourselves off to those opportunities and those, you know what I'm saying, those interactions and those feelings, you know what I'm saying? So it really just comes down to, you know, what type of person you're trying to be, what type of person you are, and what message you're trying to get out of there too, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you know, it's, bro, that's life, dog, you know what I'm saying?
It's deep for real.
It's deep.
And it's amazing how many, talking about like the experiences and like everyone's the same, but going through different experiences. It's like there's so many experiences out there in the world that you can dedicate to, but you only have so much time here. But that's the most amazing, and what makes it beautiful is the fact that you have that time limit. That's what gives it value.
You have to prioritize.
Your mortality is what gives you value in the time that you spend on this. And so you better make sure the time that you spend here is for what you actually want.
Exactly.
And you have to do that because you're going to leave here one day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you might come back. Whatever, depends on what you believe on. But
Facts.
But this version of you only has a certain amount of time. So
the one him who's the fake artist, like only that fake artist version of him is going to come back.
He wants a mixtape. He's mad I got a mixtape. He's mad I got a mixtape. He's mad I got a mixtape. I'm on Spotify. He's mad, boy. He's mad. He's like, oh shit, he's on Apple too?
Oh man, Google Play? And I don't even got an Android.
He's big mad, boy. But that's true though, man. And I realize that more and more every day. And I like to do so many things.
Yeah.
And that time now, especially with everything we're trying to build up, is like, okay, I'll have more time for that later, but I have to build this first. We have to build this first. You know, just like you built what you're building. And you talked about energy and energy that you put into the work, and that sparked something that I really want to talk about because I know you probably have some info on it.
Oh yes.
And I don't, because
I think I know where you're going.
You do.
Ooh,
because I actually, even on a surface level, without even going too deep first, let's start at the surface. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's take it slow.
Let's work our way down.
Yeah. I don't even understand EQing and frequency fully. I know more than he knows, but I know he doesn't know because he just told me the other day.
First of all, you don't know me.
So, for the most basic level understanding, when you're mixing or mastering, that would be part of the mixing or the mastering, a little bit of both.
Okay, so EQing, it is involved in both because during the steps. So this is the way I tell people the EQ is, right? When you're painting a picture, the EQ is a paintbrush because that's what, you know, the color. You know what I'm saying? So that's what helps you get the sound you want out of your voice. And the thing about EQs and the frequencies in it, you know, because we're gonna get
that's
into
where
that.
we're going.
I see where you're trying to take this. But, like realistically, like, you know, like, our voices, man. You know, like we're all these frequencies that we manipulate when we mix music and we work with vocals and stuff like that. It's what causes impact for where people feel what you're saying and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, EQing is, like I say, is what gives it's like the paintbrush to your voice. You
You're
know?
actually adjusting is it the frequencies that you're adjusting in that sound?
Yeah, so you're so pretty much, yeah, it's the frequencies in your voice that the EQ is that it gives you control over the frequencies in your voice, the pitch of your voice, you know, because the way your voice is broken down, if you want to take it to like a technical, like the whole,
We do.
yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So let
Yes.
me
Because I have
take this
no
back.
idea.
Let
Yeah.
me simplify this. Okay, so for example, you have 4 parts to an EQ. You know what they call the parametric EQ, which is the basic. You got your low mids, your mid highs, and your highs. Your 4 parts to your voice. The highs is like the airiness in your voice. The mid highs is where your harshness. Your low mids is where I would say the body of your voice, and obviously the lows is the bass. You know what I'm saying? So you have all these different aspects of your voice and all these different frequencies. And in your voice, there's negative and positive ones, and there's ones that as you're EQing, you boost or you remove in order to create that sound or to mold your voice into that sound around that instrumentation or whatever it is that you're mixing it to. You know what I'm saying? Because everything has to have levels, you know.
So
everything
the
has
beat
to have its
basically,
pocket.
or whatever music is in
Whatever
the back.
music, or even if it's just a acapella, you at the end of the day, your voice sits in certain frequencies, and you have to tame certain ones that are bad for the ear. You know what I'm saying? Because
Now, is that subjective though? What's bad for the ear?
and like, what do you mean?
Like, is there a hard
yeah.
set line on? Oh, this is not good for the
Yeah,
ear, or
yeah.
is that
Okay.
just based on the person listening?
Okay, so there is frequencies that affect everybody, and then there's frequencies that affect, let's say, the song that you're working on. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, there's frequencies on an EQ. Let's say there's no instruments, just an acapella. There's things that can boost on an EQ that can emotionally or even just from hearing can affect you. You won't know it because on a vibrational level, we
can't pick it up.
You can't
Yeah.
pick it up.
Well, I'm on all
You know what I'm
fruits and
saying?
veggies, so I probably could pick it up better. Than
Oh,
that.
then I pick it up even better because I'm all fruits.
Was that like was that like a day and a half that you're on that now? Because I'm on day 18.
I'm on day 7.
Oh, here we go, guys. Here we go, man.
No,
for
sure.
But anyway, so yeah, pretty much with an EQ, you manipulate those frequencies. Again,
Right.
there's standard frequencies that are negative in a voice, just in general, when it comes to music and when you go to mixing, that you do remove off rip. But then there's also, again, like I said, ones that you remove for certain purposes.
Subconscious thing.
Subconscious
Now, but
things.
now, as an engineer, when you're learning this, do you okay? Let's say I'm making a song and you get the vibe of the song already. Do you know? Oh, okay, with this vibe, I need to remove this frequency, or I need to boost
Yes.
this
Okay.
frequency.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely, yes. Through experience, because again, when you're dealing with sound and how everything is supposed to have its own pocket and supposed to sit in its own spot, there's common frequencies that either you remove or you boost. That's in all voices, even if you got a high pitched voice or a low end, there's still frequencies in your voice that hit the same. You know what I'm saying? So there's already ones that are standards that, yeah, like I can listen to a pop song and I already know, oh, I already got to cut this much from here, or I got to boost from here in order for it to
Now, are you
sound-
thinking by numbers? Or are you thinking
So-
like, oh, I got to boost from 55?
Yeah, like there's
or-
a certain like guide that tells you like this spectrum does this type
so,
of emotion.
So the way it works,
this spectrum does this type of emotion.
So again, I told you it was broken down to 4, right?
Right.
So you have like from like, let's say 0 to I think it's 450 or 500 hertz is like low end. Then from like 500 to like about 900 to 1,000 is low mids. Then from 1,000 to 3,000 kilohertz, it's your high mids, and then your highs, which would be from like 9,000 and up. So yeah, there's numbers involved, you know, because it gives you an idea. But at the end of the day, you're also still going off of your ears too, because there's some frequencies that, even though it might look like you're boosting and can damage, sometimes there's frequencies that are hiding that you need to boost on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So you do go off of a visual and a number thing when you do this. But again, also just from experience, when you work with sound in general, you start gaining an understanding of, like, just from the sound itself, where that frequency sits. You feel me?
Right.
Like, for example, an 808, a bass, right? You feel that bang, boom, right?
Boom, deep, yeah.
So off rip, you don't need to be a scientist to know that's a low frequency,
yeah.
right?
Literally a low
A
frequency.
low frequency,
And,
right?
and that probably comes along with what people are referring to, and they're like, "Oh, that guy's vibrating at a low frequency."
Yeah, which we're gonna get into that, because there's that's the thing about music is music drives people to all different types of emotions, and it's because these frequencies are being manipulated in music for that reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
music is so powerful.
Oh man, it's vibrations, and music is vibrations, and that's literally what holds life together.
Literally,
yes, exactly.
Right.
Okay,
that is all of existence.
Okay, so if we're gonna talk numbers here, you know what I'm saying? Life is held by a certain frequency, which is 432 kilohertz. Okay, so that's the frequency of life. That's what keeps all the atoms, the particles together.
That's a proven fact.
432.
Yeah, that 432 is.
I think I've watched some videos where in the top left corner it says 432 kilohertz.
Okay,
so that means that all atoms and electrons are vibrating at that frequency.
Yes, that is the like I said, the frequency of life. So if you want stability, you want peace, you want that to where you feel calm, subconsciously or just in general, sounds and anything in that range are good for you.
To maintain that state.
Maintain that state.
Right.
Okay? We as humans though, we listen to music at 440, which is not aligned with life's vibration. Right?
Wait, is that high? That's lower. That's higher. That's higher. Yeah.
You know, so technically we're off rip. If you want to be that type of person to think deeper, we're already off of the vibration that our lives need to be in a normal basis.
Off balance.
So before we get deeper into that, I want to know, do you know as to how they figured out 432 kilohertz is the frequency of life?
Honestly, I never really
But I've heard that before.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just seeing if you knew possibly how they could measure that.
Honestly, I don't. You know,
probably just like those giant, those. I forgot what they're called, but they're like the machine that splits the atom, where they can measure stuff at insane speeds.
I do know one thing.
Like
the way we measure sound in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I don't know too deep into like that, you know what I'm saying?
The collider.
Just in general, even with the technology nowadays that I use, there's technology where it helps. Like, there's things that help me read this room acoustically just by signals that bounce off of the speakers. There's plugins that allow frequencies to shoot out my speakers, hit this room, bounce back, and this plugin will read the room's acoustics and correct it for me.
I did not know that.
You know
That's wild.
So really, sound itself, the way it moves, you know what I'm saying?
Is that what's happening when you I remember growing up, my dad, he turned our garage into like a movie theater living room, right? And he put up this dope ass for the time surround sound, like through the ceiling and everything. And every time right before we went to watch a movie, shout out Dad, but we always make fun of him. He spent 30 minutes. We're all waiting on the couch for the movie to start, watching that. You know, the DVD plays the loop of the same scenes over and over. I already watched half the movie, and he spends 30 minutes just adjusting all the settings on the receiver. And sometimes when you do it on the computer, there's like a test thing, and it shows like it's shooting stuff from certain speakers. Is that what it's doing?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it's doing. It's correcting itself acoustically in the room, because the thing about it is when the room is not fixed for sound, your reverb or just sound in general, it bounces in different directions. There's no control, so that's why you get different effects. Like, for example, if you're in a church hallway and you yell, you hear that reverb and it'll carry your voice. Like, if it's
Sounds
still
dope.
going, sounds dope. You know what I'm saying? But it has no control. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have too much to bounce from. That's why it continues to carry. With sound here again, when you treat, like, for example, in this room, I could kind of mention, like, just from hearing in this room and the way things work, just from me mixing. The bass, how it vibrates in this room, I have to. It's like you don't have to like insulate the whole room to kill the sound. You never want to kill sound completely. You need sound. You need things to keep that natural sound bouncing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you never want to completely dead a sound. Plus, if you ever heard that, there is like a room where they have, which is the quietest room in the world, and it can actually drive you mad. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so dead in there. That
I think I saw a video on that. Some guy was staying in there for a certain amount of time as like an experiment.
Was that Mr. Beast?
No, I don't think so.
But anyway, like that's just to show you, man. We don't have to see the thing, but you can manipulate it to where you can control. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly like from what you asked earlier, I don't know exactly how they got it to where that 432 to figure out that that's life's balance, you know. But at this point, with the way technology is and just the things I've experienced, just how to understand this room acoustically, the technology is there,
Right?
So there's some way that they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? But just from at least the stuff that I know, that's literally the frequency that holds life together, though. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's sound or not, it's just vibrations itself.
But you were about to get into that. We listen to music at 440.
Do you know why that is?
Technically, it's the modern standard, you know, for whatever sound. Obviously, with the technology, you know, the radio waves or however they go about, you know,
with current technology. Yeah, because I know it wasn't always that frequency.
It wasn't. Yeah, it's just that. I guess that's the modern standard. So, but again, you know, off rip, if you want to look at it into the deep aspect, that's our first unalignment of, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not on the right frequency off rip already, right? And then with music itself, you know, the fact that you can manipulate now these same frequencies that can affect emotion, can affect all this now, on top of the fact that you already have all these people for so long unaligned because you took them off that 432 for so long, and now you got them on that 440, that now they're out of control already. Their bodies are not even so now it's easier to manipulate with other negative frequencies because they're already unstable. They're not on that 432. You feel me?
Yes,
So that's where all this other stuff kicks in with the sounds.
Now the 432 and the 440, is that because we were talking about EQ before? Is that like separate? The like those low levels and all that stuff, or is that the 440? Like, okay, so they on that scale? Okay,
so technically they're on the same scale because it's kilohertz. They're on the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally.
But that's just a manipulation. The EQ.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Because the EQ, that's what it does. It allows you to manipulate those frequencies. Like, for example, like the conversation we were having before, which is we're pretty much leading to that. You know what I'm saying? There's certain frequencies that we as engineers are taught to remove just because technically those are either negative ones or ones that don't belong in a mix because they can make it sound muddy.
By rule.
Right. You know, because there's a standard that you have to follow. Yeah. Right. But realistically, when you start looking into the deep aspect of these same frequencies and the ones that either keep life together or the ones that cause disruption or the ones that cause anxiety or depression, you know what I'm saying? When you start looking into all that, bro, like, it's like, how can I put it, man? I don't want to lose my like exactly how I'm trying to say it, but it's like, man, you realize, like, holy crap, as you're mixing these songs, they're like almost like removing. I feel like they remove certain things on purpose.
Oh, for sure.
You feel me?
Like, we don't want you to have a certain power within your voice.
I kind of got stuck there, but I'm trying to find the best way to explain it.
I didn't want to get you out of your thought process.
Because it's like, man, at the end of the day, man, like, you know, again, they don't tell you these things because they're not going to tell you, hey, man, this frequency affects you emotionally this way. You know, they're just going to tell you.
We don't want you to feel that way.
We don't want you to feel that way. Instead, they're going to tell you, hey, listen, this style of music, when you usually mix, it sits in these frequencies. So you have a standard for that. But that standard is already putting those people in that bad frequency or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say something, but before I do, let me ask this. Is those standards, do they change based on genre of music? The standards, frequency mixing and engineering standards?
Yeah, depending on the instrumentation again, because, you know, one thing about it is, you know, we listen to voices, but one of the main things that carry the voice is the beat.
Right. You know so a hip hop beat versus a country song would probably be sitting at different frequencies.
Different frequencies, but there's still certain ones that are standard.
Okay, regardless,
you know what I'm saying?
Regardless,
that crossover, you know what I'm saying, or things you need to remove in order for, you know what I'm saying?
So even with that, like a hip hop song or a country song, are they both played at 440 kilohertz?
Okay, so yeah, it's at 44 kilohertz because what it is that's the standard of. When you, let's say, for example, I do a mix down and what radios play in or what internet radios or what DJ, sonically, that's where it sits. Okay. So at the end of the day, even the software that we use when we edit music, when you go to bounce to export them, they export it in that frequency on purpose because that's the standard. So
I don't know if I'm jumping ahead and you're trying to get to this,
go ahead.
808s, I've obviously heard about it. We talked about it in a previous podcast with Bebo and Deluxe, one of our guests, and the effects of that. Is the 808? Why is it called 808? Is it 808 kilohertz, or is that
808
nickname?
is just a nickname. 808 is for, it's just for the type of sub-synth bass that they use. You know what I'm saying? It's just the word 808 itself it's just a name to it.
Okay.
It doesn't have to do anything with a frequency, but the 808 itself, the sound itself, the booming that it hits, the frequency that it hits, it's actually one of the most negative, most disruptive ones to humans.
That's what I was gonna get to when I asked that about the genre.
It's a very, very low frequency. So think about it this way: if life is held together at 432 and 808s hit at 60, that's about 400 and some change away from stability, right?
Yeah.
That's
putting
madness.
you very far away from stability.
And in hip hop, especially let's say trap music, things like that,
808
that
driven.
is the strongest thing you hear in the beat.
Yes.
And that's why I was trying to make the connection, because not that this happens in all music, I know for sure. However, I notice predominantly, especially now, hip hop music is super negative, like super toxic. It's always had a street vibe to it. And I don't know if it's just because I'm older, like going into my 30s now, but it's so it's so violent, like to the point where that's like I talked about it before. That's part of the reason I even got motivated to make my own music, is because I think one day I was listening to NBA YoungBoy in my car, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. You know what I mean? Like not the sound of the song.
Not to say,
you know what I'm saying? Like the sound of the song was cool. I was vibing. You know what I'm saying? But it was like the energy, I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, not only the lyrics, which were obviously terrible by content, but the feeling of the music and what it made me feel. It kind of put me in like, oh, I'm about to shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm about to go smack the shit out of somebody. Come try me.
Well,
you feel me? I'm never like that.
Yeah.
But it puts you in that vibe.
It does.
And now you got these unstable first of all, young minds are already unstable. Now you're throwing them even more off and feeding them that energy. Yeah. To where it's like, yeah, go fuck each other up.
Yeah.
You know, and
cause chaos, because within chaos, they're going to create the order that they want.
Yeah.
When they cause that chaos, it's an opportunity for them.
Listen, that's the easiest way to control the mass, through fear.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's been proven nowadays, that if you want to stop 100 people from rushing out your door, it has to be with fear. Nothing else works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because fear spreads faster than anything
That's
else.
why we have the Second Amendment in America, by the way, because the government and people will fear you, knowing that they don't know if you have a gun or not.
Yeah, exactly.
If the government didn't know you didn't have a gun, they would not have any fear running up in your crib, bro. So fear does run everything.
Everything.
It runs everything, even for us. You didn't want to say something disrespectful to your mom because you didn't want to get this shit smacked out of you.
You didn't want to get your shit rocked.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing.
Yeah,
but it's fucked up.
So again, you know, if you create the madness, and then you're the savior of that madness, you controlled a whole bunch of people. You feel me?
Hell yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Because they didn't know you caused it.
Because they don't know you caused it. It's like you caused the problem, but you also have the cure. So that's the easiest way to control the mass.
Yeah.
Why? Because during turmoil, they're looking for a savior. They're panicking. So anybody to be like, I can save you, I got the cure. Of course, they're gonna run to that at the moment because they're panicked. They don't know what they have. They're scared.
You're the only possible option.
So again, you know, it's funny because in a separate podcast I use that word. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to offend people with that word, but it's the whole concept of the sheep.
Oh, for sure.
You know
Offense or not,
yeah,
if you're a sheep, you're a
I'll
sheep.
say it every day.
If you're a sheep, you're a sheep. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? That nowadays, let's say if we go back now to the conversation about 808s and the frequencies and what that does, it creates that instability to where, look at it this way, it makes them unstable, but then they look to that artist that's on that track as their savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You feel me?
That's deep. Yeah, that's deep right there.
Think about it. So it's almost the same concept.
Yeah.
They're feeding you the poison and telling you I can save you by listening to my music.
Which is still more poison.
Which is still more poison. So I got you hooked.
And it's crazy too because, you know, they say, which is, I understand, but so many of them is like, oh, well, I'm not promoting the problem. I'm just telling you my experience. And it's like, yes, but you're not doing it in a way that is showing the solution to how to not do it. You're just simply continuously promoting the same story.
So check it out. You ever heard that little thingy about where they take like the regular, what is the black ants and the red ants? You put them in a jar, but then if you shake it up,
Yeah,
give them that negative vibration.
Yeah,
They start attacking each other,
Yes,
or they
yes,
start
yes.
fucking each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with music.
Yeah,
You
they
get all
could be
these people.
peaceful.
You get all these people piled up, right? And everybody's good. You start hitting motherfuckers with that low frequency, that low vibration, that 808, that 60 to 80 hertz.
Yeah.
It creates madness. Now people start feeling anxiety, anger, sadness, emotions. Start
And they
looking at
take
the
it out
next
on each
person,
other.
on the next person. Exactly.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, you just shaked up those black and red ants. You know what I'm saying?
I'm relating the 432 kilohertz that you mentioned as like what I would call like consciousness. And then that consciousness is when you're going lower here, you're lowering everyone's consciousness by playing you said it's at 60 hertz?
Yeah, 60 to 80 hertz.
60 to 80 hertz is the 808s. You're lowering everyone's frequency on a mass scale. And not only just music, but everything else,
Everything
obviously
else.
a whole
Food.
bunch of things.
So again, the fear factor, right? We lower their frequencies, get them all scared because they're now inside and subconsciously their vibrations, they're off completely.
Yes.
And they don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
They don't realize.
Then
it.
all of a sudden now, exactly like you said, hey man, let's hit them with the news of Ukraine and Russia. Let's hit them
Yes.
with this whole thing with abortion. Let's hit them with all. So now people are already in a bad state, and you give them negative and negative and negative and negative. You got them already.
And
You
now
know what I
they're
mean?
looking
Yes,
for
yes.
any source of
Any
comfort or
source.
relief
Yep.
just to distract
Yep.
themselves. So they roll down the street and they're like, "Oh, KFC, damn, that skin sounds good right now. Let me
Yo,
go
chill
get some
out. I
KFC."
And they'll
had-
take-
that's what I had on the way here.
Oh, you
This guy is
did?
so disrespectful. This guy is so.
Damn, you deserve it.
Yeah, I
You
do.
deserve
it. I'm looking at my stomach like, yo.
Yo,
But
yeah.
and then they,
Right
and
now,
then
I'm
they reach
vibing
out.
at a low frequency.
Yo, hey, bro, because I'm
Hey.
I'm on 18 days right now, and when I'm rolling down the road, when you look at how many bright lights and attractions there are to come eat trash food, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
want to go in there. I
Yeah.
want to go in there. But it's like, nah, I'm not.
But they're just good at advertising, bro. They get me every
Yeah,
time.
and then the people that
They get me every
are
time.
so unstable, they reach out. That's when they start going into the drugs and
Yeah.
prescriptions and things to keep them as stable as possible.
Which is not even
which
stable.
Which is not even stable.
No, because
if anything,
you
it makes you
become
worse.
you become dependent on
Exactly. And then when you don't have that, you become crazy.
something. Yeah, which I can tell you, from personal experience, I'm huge on mental health.
For sure.
Me coming from a background of I was diagnosed bipolar disorder. You know
Oh,
what I'm
really?
saying? Yeah, type 1. So I went through the whole manic phase, the anxiety, the angers, everything. I've went through that whole process, and that's one thing that I realized too, though, which is true. There was a time where they put me on medication. I was on lithium. Same shit you hear that they put in fucking batteries.
I was just gonna say,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
that
saying?
sounds crazy.
Yeah, lithium and Zoloft. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
It sounds crazy, but it's crazy. But they do give you this shit. It's a metal that they're giving you. But I could say that at the time when I first was on it, the so-called chemical imbalance that I did have, it felt like it was working.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the side effects of taking something like lithium, having to take blood work every month, and then realizing you're consuming a metal, this shit eventually could kill you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get off of it, how you can end up worse than when you first got put on. You know what I'm saying? So it's always, in a way, when it comes to that, it's always better to try natural things first.
Was that
You know what I'm
hard
saying?
for you to do?
Let me tell you something, bro. Getting off of lithium alone during my time, you know what I'm saying? It was really, really tough because again, it's true. It's not one of those things that you should ever quit cold turkey, but I did. Why? Because it's like I just didn't. I didn't want to be one of those people that just like, man, they're giving you pills for one thing, but just to fuck up another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that dependency, bro, it got to a point where it was like I felt like a robot and I wasn't living life. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was sleeping like half the time on that shit too. So it was just one of those things that I did at cold turkey, and that was a mistake because that first year of doing it, you know what I'm saying, like that, like your manic phase.
For a year?
Yeah, bro. I literally, when I went cold turkey that first year, it was, I probably went through even worse manic phases than before they put me on that shit because now.
What is manic?
Well, yeah, when you
phases?
say that, are you
Okay,
saying like
so
an
manic,
unstable mental state?
Yeah, like my unstable. So manic is like saying like at the top of like instability with your mental state. Like at that point, like you just have no control over emotions. So whatever you're feeling at the moment, it's full force. You know what I'm saying?
And it can go up and down.
depression, yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride. Like during the manic phase, if something could make me really, 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 really happy, and then like 2 seconds later, just for no reason, I can be really, really sad and crying, and there's no reason why that happened is just the fact that emotionally you have no control. So it's
Yeah.
like your body just lets it out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things that I got put on medication to control that. But then when I realized that was just taking my life away, though.
Yeah.
Like I was on medication controlling that, but it was also controlling me in the sense that I had no life. You know what I'm saying?
It was
It-
only doing that one
was
thing.
only
It
doing that
wasn't
one
bringing
thing.
any balance to your life.
It wasn't bringing balance because if sleeping all the time or just feeling like you know what I'm saying, like I'm
Shit.
just, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
it wasn't getting me nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So
It gets you to like pretty much what they're doing is like a temporary support where you're not, as far as like talking on a more like big picture level. Well, they gave you that support, which you became dependent on that support, and the only way you can actually be free mentally, emotionally, everything in your life, which gives you that consciousness and that power, is to not have dependency or support from something else.
From
And you
something
have
like
that
that.
exactly, and they created that through you putting you into that. And that's what they do with everybody.
yeah, definitely.
They give everybody those prescriptions, hitting you with 808s.
Yeah, they make you
all this
yeah.
stuff.
Listen, everything nowadays is to lower that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're at a point right now where
To be dependent on them.
we're slowly I can say now more than ever maybe through a lot of these dark times we've been going through, there's starting to be a little bit of an awakening.
Yes.
Okay.
For a lot of
Yeah,
people.
for a lot of people, but realistically, it's still
It's still bad.
It's still bad. It's still not enough to cause that drastic change.
But all we could do is
It's
fight.
a great
But-
improvement.
But no, it is. Because more and more each day, like I'm meeting more people that are snapping out of it.
On
you know
that
what I'm saying?
wavelength,
And then
yeah.
are finally wanting to make that change. But again, it's also what we expose ourselves to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can be fighting to make that change, but if we continue, let's say for example, I can just to not to make fun, but let's say I could be the type that be religious, go to church every day, and think I'm doing good for myself, but then when I go home, I'm still bumping 808s and thinking
And talking about that shoot 'em up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense because you're still exposing yourself to the things that are not gonna allow you to stay at that. Let's say if you really want to be at that 432, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to cut off everything,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but that 432.
Yeah.
You feel me? Now, just if you to hit other numbers though, that's technically not our. If you want to get deeper, that's not our pineal gland frequency. Our pineal gland frequency, the highest frequency, I guess, what they consider the frequency of the gods.
Right.
The divine frequency is like 972 or 73 hertz.
You ever think about trying to mix a song at that and
Okay,
see
so-
what it sounds like?
So here's the thing. Lead with that I'm glad you brought that back because we were talking about that a little. When I engineer, I'm taught to remove and boost certain frequencies because that's actually what helps manipulate the emotions and shit. Let's put it like that. You know, I look at it as I'm cleaning a song just because I want it to sound good, but realistically, if I'm boosting, let's say, if I'm mixing a beat and that 808 got a punch because that beat needs that 808, I'm boosting that 60 hertz. I'm part of the problem.
Boosting so it stays
I'm
at
part-
60, but you're making it more noticeable.
More noticeable. Yeah,
Right.
because you could always add more punch. It can still be hitting at 60, but you know, you can make it sound wider, fatter. It's still hitting at 60, but you could just
Amplify.
Spreading the vibration
That's the
better.
perfect word.
Okay.
You
Amplify. You amplify. So it's still 60 hertz. It's just a lot louder in your face. You feel me? So
It overrides it,
So
yeah.
as
The
an
signal is
engineer,
stronger
again,
for the
as an
mic.
engineer, you don't look at it in those aspects because we're not in it for a spiritual journey or whatever. Technically,
Not
You know,
any-
we're
not
in it-
yet.
Not yet, unless you really get into that, and then you start realizing how just EQing alone as an engineer, you're manipulating and messing with those same frequencies that deal with people's emotions, instabilities, and anxieties and depressions. So, like, man, if I'm over here mixing a beat because this song supposedly is official, but I'm again
Bumping that
bumping
808.
that 808 hard and making it more out there for you, I'm part of that problem that's keeping people at that 60
That's
to 80
crazy
hertz.
too, because you could
Even
write.
if-
You
even
could
if I
write.
don't want to.
You could write a high. I could write a song that I want to be a high level positive frequency song, but if my beat has that in it, that is going to
It don't matter.
override anything.
It
I'm
overrides
saying.
anything.
Anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're still giving into the problem. That's what I'm saying. Like what I was saying earlier. If you wanna the cleansing frequency, the frequency that brings peace is that 432. If you really wanna push that, then I'll put it to you like this. you will be going in the studio and making sure that most of your frequencies that are boosted are hitting around that range. And you're going to want to make sure nothing around the 60 to 80 hertz is hitting. Now, let's go back to, this is where the transition of music has changed though too. Because back in the days, we didn't have 808s. We had boom bap. So it was important what a person was saying because the message was important. So how they were delivering that message is how it affected you emotionally.
And it came from here. Not from the sound of the
Then through time, music changed. And now, look, you don't have to say shit, but that 808 will drive a motherfucker crazy and make them either want to feel like okay, there's not, you know, like a lot of these guys who do that fake gangster shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They listen to drill. You know, they're not about that life, but they listen to a drill song and they feel. Like they're not going to commit it. They feel like, man, I want to get in my car and do a drill. And, you know what I'm saying?
And
like,
most of those songs don't even have high lyrical content.
It
is the beat.
It's the beat. It's the vibration that's causing that anxiety or that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And not to mention the foundation already of it's hitting people differently because every person is a different level of instability.
Instability, exactly.
So
Some
the people that are extreme, those are the ones who are going to act out.
The people whose frequencies are so down here, you know, who are heavily influenced by, let's say, the depression music, and then on top of the fact of depression music, and let's say they're doing drugs and you know all that,
eating
they're
trash,
so down there.
doing everything.
Yeah, that trust me,
no sleep because they're up all night in the studio. No offense, because you are too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I still managed to stay. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
But no, but those people who are in all those categories doing it negatively and not getting to sleep and constantly in the doing the drugs.
Yeah, you're more susceptible to what's gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To what's gonna happen.
And then most people don't grow out of that social anxiety we talked about. So now they're involved with this group of people who are doing the same things. And now even if they think about getting out, they can't because the social pressure is too bad.
Yep.
So that's the nail in the coffin right there.
Oh, yeah, facts.
My whole I got to find all new friends. Most people don't even want to leave their city growing up because of their friend circle. So when it comes to changing their life or how they live same thing. Or how they eat or how they communicate with people, what music they listen to, they're definitely not going to do that.
Oh yeah, facts.
Definitely not. And that's the worst part. I was just telling one of my homies the other day, he's from Ocala too. He's doing good. He's a barber. And I was telling him he was thinking about going somewhere. And I was like, bro, moving out of the city. And I'm like, bro, even if you want to come back later, you got to go. You got to go because most people don't even start growing until they leave where they're from.
They leave their comfort zone.
You know? Yeah. And then if you want to come back, cool, but you have experience on your own out in the world that you didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus only the world that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes some people couldn't do things and be successful in a comfort zone, but it takes a certain level of consciousness to be able to drive that that energy
understand
into
that pocket that you're
exactly.
in. You know what I'm saying?
So now, are you gonna experiment with the frequencies? Because I want to hear a song like that.
You know, the thing is like, it's funny that you say that because I'm doing it every day without realizing it. You feel me? I'm experimenting every day with these frequencies when I mix these songs because, again, you know, depending on what type of beat they're coming through with or whatever type of vibe they're going for, obviously they're setting the tone, or should I say, they're setting the frequency already that they want to put out there. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So me, obviously, my job is to try to
capture what they want.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
so you're a piece of shit.
I could be. Listen, I'm look, hey, didn't I admit that earlier though? Yeah. Shit, I'm like, I could be fucking part of the problem and working with half of this shit. You know
but we could fix it though.
But we could fix it, right? You know, but again, that's not my job. If you're paying me to boost your fucking 60 hertz, that's what
it's
I'm
a deeper problem than just you. It's a society problem where it's like you shouldn't be coming in here to want to do that anyway.
Exactly,
right.
And that's beyond your spectrum.
But it became a standard.
Yeah.
So now, and it's only gonna change by the individual. Like the more we change the individuals, everyone who comes in to get educated.
But even then, again, it's not even changing the individual. Is the change you're doing amongst yourself, bro? Because,
it starts there.
Because again, it's all about the exposure to yourself. Because if you don't want to deal with that shit, you're not gonna expose yourself to it. You feel me? You're not gonna expose it. So again, it comes down to what you surround yourself with, what you're feeding yourself. Hey, you feed yourself fruits and veggies, right?
Hell yeah.
Why? Because it has a purpose behind it, right?
Hell yeah.
Well, the same way, if you feel that way about, let's say, 60 hertz being that negative, then why feed yourself those 60 hertz then? Yeah. Just cut that shit out.
I'm boycotting 808s. You ain't never going to catch me.
But no,
do I have any 808s?
I was just going to ask you, what is your frequency at? Because you're I don't know. It's vibrating kind of low. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't even know if I have any 808s on any beats that I've done, but I know I don't want any now.
But now that's another thing though too. You know, one thing that would be awesome that I always recommend artists should learn. Obviously, when it comes to the notes, even that the songs are in like C minor or D major, all these specific notes hit a certain type of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them specifically, those keys are specifically for sadness.
I've been learning that with guitar.
Are, so you gotta, you also gotta understand. Again, it's not only maybe the 808. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it to you, a lot of things are capable of hitting that low frequency. A lot of pieces of equipment. You know what I'm saying?
If it hits
it, it hits it. You feel me? So again, it's just what are you willing to expose yourself to? If you're gonna do fruits and veggies and you say fuck meat, right? Well, it's the same thing. You gotta have that same concept with this. If you don't want that negative shit keeping you unstable and feeling like you have anxiety for no reason, because that's another thing too, man. There'll be times in your car you never know, man. I know I've experienced it. That you all of a sudden you could just be driving into town because you're gonna go buy something or you're gonna go hang out with some friends, and you have all of a sudden anxiety or some type of weird emotion out of nowhere that you don't even know where it's stemming from because you didn't go through shit. It's just a weird. It could be just because of the shit you're listening to, but you're just not. You're not registering it as that.
And it's crazy because just to think about how many people are going through that. By the way, I will say definitely fuck meat 90% of the time. Right.
I had KFC on the way here. I just want to reiterate that. You know what I'm saying?
So relating the analogy with the frequencies on just sound to food, I would equate like the 60 hertz as to all the processed extreme levels of horrible
that's the GMO.
Foods. Yes. And then I would say 432 hertz. You said there was a God level hertz, right?
Yeah, there's it's a 970.
I would equate
that's what
that
my mixtape
to fruits.
is at.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
That's what my mixtape is at. 932.
The highest, right?
He has a divine frequency.
Thank you. Damn, I got the title for my next tape. Let's start. We're starting.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Don't nobody take that shit, bro.
But
that
like I would consider fruits at that higher level frequency where the bare minimum 432 where I would look at that as like
rice.
The frequency of that promotes life, that life is able to exist at.
Rice and beans.
So it would be like, for me, I would say like like vegetables, things of like, at least because your body is like about 70% water, right? And vegetables are about 70% water in general. And that and up to fruits is the higher frequency of life to help stimulate your frequencies. There was actually, speaking about water, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy.
Speaking of water.
Well, my mouth is kind of dry. But there's a guy.
Hydrate.
There's a guy.
I'm going to get another one. I'll be right
called Masaru Emoto. And he did an experiment with water. I don't know if you've ever heard of...
With the alkalinity and stuff?
No, it was the water crystals. And he hired photographers to actually take images of the water crystals. I don't know extreme details how they get the water crystal, but water crystals, and he was saying that different frequencies can affect the water and the health of the water. So he would first say like things like even praying or even just saying good words couldn't affect it, and he would take photographs of the water. If you were looking at, you could see the actual photographs where it's like, if he says I hate you or I love you, even to the extreme where he would just tape or write the words I love you on water in a jar, and then put I hate you on a jar, and that would make the crystalline structures of the water become disrupted and unstable. But when it says I love you and all these positive things, energy. It would become an actual like geometric like sacred geometry type of looking thing. And it's actually held together, looks stable. And if it goes to that extreme level, you can imagine the amount of influence on just the littlest things in society on that.
Period.
Yeah.
Period, bro. And that's, again, man, that's why, like, bro, just even with my line of work, man, it made me realize that so much just with sound in general. You feel me? Like, you literally can, bro, like manipulation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Manipulation. Think about it that way. Through sound.
Yeah.
Manipulation through sound.
Now imagine
you know
that what I just mentioned about that water experiment from him. which if you missed it, is Masaru Emoto, the guy who did the experiment with the water and hit the crystalline structures of like I love you, I hate you.
Oh, I did not hear about that.
Oh, you never hear about
No.
that? So pretty much they took photos of the crystals, just to summarize it. The photos of the crystalline structures of water, and he used positive versus negative words and prayers and, and talks. And then he took pictures of it. And it was unstable, obviously, for the negative. And for the positive, it was stable structures.
Wow.
So pretty much your body, if it's 70% water, and that affected the water he experimented, imagine anything.
in your body.
Exactly.
In your
You're
body.
70% water. So that means you're affecting your body by the very littlest thing. And I was actually thinking about the other day, because I've been trying to cut out certain type of words and speech that I've developed
Yes.
through slang. Of talking, obviously
Growing
growing
up.
up in hip hop culture and stuff like that, the way that we talk.
We all do
Where-
it.
yeah.
We all
Broken
do.
English.
Yeah. So it's like, even because I was wondering, a question I had about that experiment was like, okay, that affects it. But is there a certain, so let's say we joke around and I say, you're a bitch, right?
Which we do all the time.
Which he is. Legitimately. But
You just fucking broke me down, bro.
so
You just broke me
Check
down.
his crystals. Check his crystals.
not,
They're located right
no,
here.
that's
Check my crystal.
Oh yeah. No, so like if you were to say that, but my intention is like my intention.
Check my crystals, boy.
Check my crystals, boy.
But I wondered if like there was a certain
You
level,
ain't shit. I'm sorry.
because if we said it legitimately, if I said it genuinely,
It's a different frequency.
It's a different frequency. But is it, if the intention behind it was jokingly, and I really don't think he is, I'm just doing it to make somebody laugh. Does it still affect that crystalline structure?
I don't think it does as bad.
Well,
I would say not as bad, but that's what I was going to
It's
say.
still
but
probably
then,
bad.
But then again, who knows? Because again, in the tone that you're saying it,
Yeah,
you're hitting certain frequencies.
exactly.
That's
So
why.
so it can it might not be as bad, but if you're still saying it in a certain tone,
Yeah.
exactly.
it's still getting that same energy out.
So it's
Yeah.
got to be like, you're a bitch.
But the
Like
thing
that.
is, though, but that if it's
you still meant it though. You still meant it though.
Yeah, but the word itself saying
The
it has a
bitch.
frequency.
Yeah, the bitch.
Yeah, it's
Bitch.
implied.
But the thing is, though,
bitch,
but you could also
bitch.
argue like saying stuff like that though also causes people to laugh, which is a higher frequency, like on stand up. So
Yeah.
it's like, so what does that do? Because if you're saying those things in a joking way, it's like, okay, well, how deep does it, or how complex? I mean, obviously it's complex as shit, but
Yeah.
how complex, or someone needs to maybe even experiment on like the intention behind it. I might say those bad words, but it doesn't have bad intentions on it, and then see if it affects it less.
Yeah, like
less.
like even when I call him fat all the time, right? Because I was like, damn, should I?
How you deal with this guy?
I don't.
The question is, how do I deal with him? Right? I'm like, damn, should I stop calling him fat?
No,
But
you
then
know
I'm
what's
like,
funny?
wait,
No.
but-
The other day he was.
But
he
it's
actually,
motivational.
Yeah, the other day he messaged me. He was like, "Bro, to be honest, bro, I think I'm gonna stop," because he started trying to make fun of me from one of my posts, because I'm on day 7 right now on all fruits, right?
There's a true story.
So he
Go
tried to
ahead.
talk shit about me on my Instagram story, and then he's like, "Bro, honestly, I think I'm just gonna try and actually support you and be a little more positive, because I feel like deep down this actually hurts you." And I was like, "Yeah, right." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I gotta stop.
I feel like he
Such
was
a
like,
supportive friend.
I gotta stop. I was like, you know what? Because even though, but then it's also like, okay, when I tell him that he is fat, right? but
which
and it's true. It's true. But and I'm joking, and it's funny, but he is, but I'm also saying it so that he cannot be fat. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it because I want good for him, not because I want him to feel shitty. Right? But
You know what?
naturally,
Day 7.
but naturally, right? Let's say that's
I
the
lost
case.
12 pounds in the last 7 days.
Oh, that's good.
Some people, it's all right.
That's
Some
good,
people-
you know, it's good.
No,
Better
but-
than me. I think I gained 12 when I stopped at KFC on the way.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I think
minimum
you just,
2.
You about to
Minimum
shit
2.
out a biscuit right now, boy.
Bro, this shirt feel a little extra tight right now.
He's like, yeah, I did have some KFC. No, but I was gonna say, because some people react. Okay, so it's like coaching, right? Some people have a coach. Let's say for baseball, because that's what I played, real man sport. Some
like
people
one
would do good with a coach
T-ball?
who's
Yeah.
really hard on them, right? Who's not gonna let them fly for nothing. They're gonna be riding their ass, bro. And people will thrive under that coach. And then you have other people who need the coach who's super nice, super supportive, doesn't really go harsh. You know, they're not gonna cuss at you. They're not gonna do this. They're not gonna do that. But so I kind of feel the same way even with this kind of thing, because some people might take that that motivation and be like, all right, bro, they've been getting on me enough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
stop
fix
calling
it.
me fat.
Yeah.
Stop calling me fat.
So I'm gonna fix it, right? Versus somebody who might just break them down
Break
and
'em
be
down.
like, damn, I'm a piece of shit and I am fat and my name is Chris, right? Like some people.
You must listen to a lot of 808s.
But so
Damn, bro, my crystalline structure right now is
that
all
shit is-
disrupted.
it'd be so hard. It'd be so hard to tell, really, because it's so individual on that case.
Yeah.
It'd be so hard. It's even to run an experiment like that.
Yeah, facts. You can't really get a solid like.
Representation,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
It'd be so subjective. It'd be
Yeah.
like, well, and then that's just like when it comes to any of the things that we talk about that start going real deep in our theories and stuff. And people are like, well, how do you know? And it's like, well, we don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? We're just
Yeah.
talking about it because we don't know. But also, who doesn't know? The people who are telling you it's true. They also don't know.
One thing that I just thought of actually was the frequencies and stuff of like obviously all the effect and going up and down of it and the effects of it. I was thinking of somebody who's like ideally conscious person who's pretty much in control of their life and what they experience would be able to play. And I look at these frequencies also as another analogy as like the karmic cycle of the yin and yang and stuff. This going back and forth. So someone who's conscious transcends the yin and yang and the duality of life, which is the two sides. So when they're a conscious person, they're able to play and dabble within that spectrum, but do it in the way that they want. So if they were doing like, let's say, if they wanted to, they could laugh at something that was at a low level frequency, but
while even being there and exposed to it.
yeah, but
Because
they're still stable because they're able to stably navigate throughout the frequency of life.
Well, it's more because they didn't. I would just say more because they just didn't allow that frequency
To affect the
to
aura.
affect them. Their
Yes.
aura. Yeah,
they
you
can
know?
they can
It's almost
witness
like
it.
your own force field.
yeah,
you feel me?
you're protecting your
Yeah.
own aura.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. You
So-
have a force field flying through the galaxy and different
But-
planets, just absorbing and watching everything, but you're not letting it in.
You're not letting it in. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Yeah, that's how I would look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is what you allow. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's really bro. That's
That's some deep shit.
yeah,
That's
bro, you know
exactly
I'm
what
saying?
we're doing.
Like I'm over here like having one of those.
I'm
moments.
like-
It's like fuck, like fuck, man.
I got
you know?
my shit
But,
up,
you know,
boy.
okay, so then like going back to with this whole conversation, even me sitting here now having this conversation.
This is
with y'all,
super high positive
like,
frequency
It's hell yeah. You know why it is? Because it's bringing awareness.
for sure.
Awareness. That's one thing that a lot of people, need awareness because, sometimes let's put it like this. Some people don't go out of their way to try to search for that awareness. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not their fault. Maybe they have too many distractions around them,
And most of the time.
which in most cases we
Yeah.
live in a society where that's all there is.
So now we're putting it in there.
So now,
We're trying to put. It's like, oh, you only want to do this? All right, we're gonna put that shit in
you know
there.
What I'm saying? Exactly. Like that. That's like saying, okay, bet. You want to give me a beat with a 60 to 80 hertz 808?
We're gonna put some.
I'm
good
gonna
shit.
try to play a fucking melody that hits 432. Something's got to fight that bitch.
Hell yeah.
You feel me? Type
Yeah.
shit. So, but
Type shit.
type shit. You know what I'm saying? But talking about going back to the frequencies though too, and even the one that I was we were talking about earlier, the divine one. You know what I'm saying? And exposing yourself to those frequencies. There are songs, there are melodies, there are things out there that people create specifically in those frequencies for those who want to stay there. So it's not like it's a hard search also, like you gotta, I gotta remove 808s and I don't know where to start. Like there's literally sounds, just sounds alone. They're not even songs itself, just sounds in general that just hit that frequency that help with clarity.
That could be in the instrumental.
Like for example, it could be any instrumental. It could just be one instrument, or it could be a voice. It could be anything. It's just as long as it's hitting
Yeah.
that frequency, that it's out there.
Have you heard of Indian flute players, ones that are conscious about the frequencies of life? They specifically play their flute at a level to raise your levels of
You
of
see, and
consciousness.
that's like the one with the divine frequency, which is the 963 hertz or kilohertz. If you expose yourself to that, it's proven that frequency, when you listen to that, it actually helps with mental fogness. So it helps clarity. You know what I'm saying? Thought process, like it gives you. So again, it's one of those things that expose yourself to it, and you might not at the moment, like it's not one of those changes you feel just because you're
It's
like
like,
expecting
oh,
it. Yeah, like, oh
shit.
shit, this is really happening.
Yeah.
But literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, oh shit, this is crazy, man. Nah, it's one of those things that, like, honestly, as you expose yourself over time and you make and you practice it, you're going to realize that your thought process is a lot clearer.
Yeah.
You know, you'll think before you speak.
It's just like the food, because when you start,
exactly.
if
This is
you
what I was gonna
start,
say.
if you eat for a week, you know, for most people who have never done it, I tell people all the time what I'm doing in hopes that they try it, but if they don't, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So I have clients who have come to me, and they come to me 2 days in,
Wow,
like,
that was really 60 hertz right there. But go ahead.
they come in like, yo, no, I'm saying, if you don't want to do it, I don't want you to do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to, I'm hype. I want you to. And they'll try it, and they'll be 2 days deep or 3 days deep, 5 days deep, and, you know, be hurting or feeling like they're starving. And I tell them, like, look, you're not going to instantly just feel different immediately.
Yeah.
You have to do this.
You have to do it.
Over and over and over.
It's kind of like if they're vibrating at this low frequency. This is 60 hertz. They're low vibrating here. This is 432.
You got a long
This
way
is
to
your
go.
stable here, and then just a couple hits. You know, you're hitting fruits in this. It's slowly bringing you back up.
It's like your credit score.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's so easy.
But 432 is
It's
pretty
so
horrible.
easy to fuck up your credit score,
Mhm.
and that shit'll drop to the 300s. But it's so hard to get that bitch
so
right
much
back.
time.
So much time and so hard because you have to just chisel
Yeah.
at it and work at it.
And
It's
you
the
don't
same
see,
shit.
and you don't
That's
see
a
it
good
till you're
analogy.
there. That's a
Yeah,
great
you know what I'm
analogy.
saying? Yeah. Honestly, it's that's how I look at it.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Even-
It's like your
even-
fucking credit
Yeah,
score.
even going back to like the food and the disruption it causes of going to lowers is the fogginess that you were mentioning, the clearer mind. When when your stomach is empty, your mind works the best. Your body works the best because it's not getting disrupted by the digestion and the food.
Yes.
So athletes
I did hear
perform
about that.
better. I specifically thrive at night and in the early mornings when I have an empty stomach, and that's when I'm the most productive because during the day I have stuff in my stomach,
And that's why
you feel sluggish.
Yes,
Technically,
exactly.
when you eat, you do
Yeah.
feel sluggish, even if you don't eat to fill yourself to
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
especially if
Or
you're
you
eating like carne
overindulge.
asada or something, and he's 8 days in, so he's
Listen.
about to finish digesting his last meal.
I'm gonna have a chuleta when I leave from here. I'm gonna have a chuleta.
Stop, bro. No. But
I'm gonna have
listen,
some pernil.
I wonder
I'm gonna-
if
you know
like
what I'm saying?
oh, stop it
You
right
know what
now.
I'm
That's
saying?
stop
Some-
it. Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wonder if like classical music, Beethoven, those things that
Yeah,
are
what
supposed to be
frequency
good
is
for
that
you,
at?
like good for you mentally, good for plants.
Okay, so all right,
there's an experiment on that, by the way.
It's fucking amazing.
I know that
you bring-
about plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's
well,
what
listen, it's amazing that you bring that up because you know one of the things that they encourage for children as you're raising them is play them stuff like that, like
I said. Classical
Classical
music.
music.
classical music, because those frequencies it helps with like the whole baby genius
Mm-hmm.
factor. You feel me? And it's just because of that. It's where those things are sitting. It's where those, you know what I'm saying? Again, you might not. It's like the whole shit with the gym. You know, like unless you do 90 days at the gym, you won't really see results until
Yeah.
you do the 90 days.
And you
know
could do
what
it
I'm
while
saying?
they're sleeping too, because it's subconscious while
Yeah.
they're sleeping, and it's just
I would
in the
actually
background.
I would play meditative music in the background when I was asleep, and I would just play it like low because I don't want to be too loud. But I would play it low, and it definitely I feel like it would make a difference. I never really had a problem sleeping, but it definitely I feel like
Well,
it
that's
makes a
another thing with
difference.
nature sounds though too. Another
Yeah,
key
I do that
factor of
too.
like nature sounds. A lot of reasons why those things sell for resting is because some of these nature sounds they're making sure they're hitting at a frequency where
Mm-hmm.
it promotes relaxation within your body. So and you're naturally it like naturally sets off your like melatonin type
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
levels and
So
all that. You know what I'm saying?
That reminds me of two things. One is I just wanted to say Josh's mom, our last guest, she has a chorus. Have you ever heard of Beautiful Chorus? No? They're out of Orlando, and apparently they're way bigger than I thought they were. I knew they did their thing. But anyway, their stuff is I feel like probably in that range. They do a lot of I think they have some stuff with like background like instrumentals, but then they do a lot of a cappella stuff. It's like 4 or 5 women and they sound beautiful, beautiful chorus. But it's great stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were, into that range as well. But more specifically when you talked about the nature, Sadhguru, you know who that is? Sadhguru?
Oh man, yeah, he's the one that's always giving these amazing.
Yes.
Oh man, I saved
Yeah.
clips of this guy. As a matter of fact, one of my songs, it's crazy. One of my songs on Spotify, I literally sampled some of the stuff that this man was saying.
Good. That's my guru.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I'll get back to you if I remember this.
I got you.
Yeah, because
So,
I have to play that song.
he was
'Cause if
saying-
you hear it, man.
He was saying one time he was talking about his time where he spent days and weeks in the forest, in the jungle of India. And he was discussing, he was actually talking about sound and frequency, and he was talking about the music of the forest, which is the crickets, the bugs, the cicadas, the nightlife. So while he's trying to go to sleep, it's the orchestra of the jungle. And that all of the animals that you hear, you can think about Puerto Rico, the coquis, the lovely sound, bro. I get chills thinking about it. I hope to go in November because that sound is it hits, bro. Like whatever, I don't understand it.
That's nature's natural balancing
frequency.
And it's like, yes, now it's time. Now it's time for we're all awake. You go to rest, and we're gonna sing you to sleep. We're gonna sing you to sleep.
We're gonna keep you at that 432.
I can't wait to go back to Puerto Rico because I'm getting chills thinking about it. I got my coquí right here, bro. You already know.
Do you go into nature a lot or no?
Like if I go into nature a lot, no.
We're gonna have to change that,
bro. We gotta go to the springs, man. I go to the springs all the time.
I will tell you one thing. My woman fights me over that because she's that type of person. You know what I'm saying? And she's always telling me like, yo, you need to be more in touch with nature.
Shout out Jen's lady.
Yeah, shout out to you, yo, because she's always preaching that. And honestly, I've been more now as I'm older and, your views change in life and all this shit. You start really getting into shit like that because you realize you're not a kid no more and this is real life shit. You feel me? This is the stuff that actually keeps life together. Also,
it is life.
It is life, exactly. So when you get to that realization,
that's funny
shit,
you
man,
say that.
Like it's been something that I have been actually like planning on doing, and it'll be my first time actually trying to make that attempt.
So you've never gone to the springs or anything?
Well, you see, like, okay, so I've gone to the springs, but again, if I go somewhere, like, it's usually because, let's put it like this, if I go to the springs, because I'm just jumping in the water and barbecuing and something and having a good time. I'm not getting in touch with nature.
And you're not barbecuing fruits.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah, unless you do grilled pineapple.
Hey, he was telling me about that.
I've never actually had that.
Oh, man, shit's amazing.
Yeah, he was just telling me about that at the barbershop the other day.
You grill pineapple like while you're grilling your regular hamburgers out, take a slice of pineapple and grill it. All right, I'm gonna tell you that's one of the best things you'll ever have.
But you can't right now because it's straight raw.
Oh no, I'm not.
But that was why when you said that you moved to Ocala and you said, I moved out here, there was no life.
Okay, you see,
for me, I'm instantly like, oh, it's all life. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Now you see when you say that though. Okay, so I get it because
I know what you mean.
Because like in my case, like I'll put it to you like
you came from the city.
I came from the city. I came here, and then it was like living in the fucking jungle.
You were, yeah.
And then I'll put it to you like this. I spent more of my time playing outside. So we made tree houses. So maybe when I was younger, that whole, maybe then yes, but not to a state where like I'm really actually
going hikes.
Going on hikes and really enjoying nature for what it is. It was more like, man, I'm a little kid. Just I'm taught to go outside and run and play.
Yeah, you're just like, I just can't build this treehouse in my room.
Hey, man, this fucking dirt is for me to play in. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me to think about the fact that this is soil and I can grow something out this bitch. It's just so I can roll in it.
But that even goes into like kayaking. A lot of people will go and then they blast music, which is okay. That's a good experience. But I think everyone should experience kayaking and going out into nature without any music.
He's out there with the music.
Because I've done it before too.
Yeah, okay,
I'm just saying.
So can I tell you something real quick?
Please.
So I experienced kayaking for the first time recently.
Really?
Where at? Silver?
And it was the Three Sisters Springs.
Oh yes,
I never
been.
been.
What are you talking about?
Okay, but
I never been there. But
it was a bad experience.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Why? Because
Gator.
We went. Oh no! Check this out. This is some fuck shit. So having a really good time. Finally got into. And the kayaks we were going, man, enjoying
932.
Because it was dope, man. To me, like I said, it's a dope experience because I've never done some shit like that.
I'm out here kayaking 932.
Yeah. Next thing you know, no, check this out. Real shit though. It was probably kayaking, bro. Check this out. My sister, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my sister because it was all her fucking fault. But so the kayak she gives me, we didn't realize it had a hole in that.
Oh shit! That's a great story. Then
you rented it.
No, that was hers.
Oh.
Oof. That's why I said shout out to my sister.
Oh, actually belonged to her.
It belonged to her. Yeah, she owns kayaks because she does that. She enjoys, you know what I'm saying, doing that shit. So I told her, I was like, yo, I want to try it one day. She gave me the one that was fucking broken pretty much. So as we're like, I'm kayaking, I'm enjoying the shit.
She don't like you.
But no, it's funny because as I'm going, I'm like, yo, I'm feeling my ass get wet. And I'm over here like, how the fuck is this possible? I'm on a kayak. This bitch is flowing. How is there water getting in? I don't get it. But I didn't think too much of it. I just kept, bro, and we were going. You feel me?
Because you've never done it before.
Yeah, I've never done it before. And I'm like, all right, man, maybe I do get a little wet, whatever. So I'm kayaking. Bro, next thing you know, like I'm starting to feel the bitch like lose its balance while I'm in the water. And I'm telling my sister, like, yo, this shit is weird. She looks at me, she's like, is your kayak going under? And I'm over here like, what the fuck you talking about? She's like, dude, look at like, I'm like, I can't look.
These
I'm
are single seaters, single
yeah,
seat,
single seaters.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
bro, can you believe the whole time what it was? It had a hole in that bitch and it was filling up with water, right? So this is where it gets shitty. I'm in an area where there's nowhere for me to fucking dock, bro. So as this shit is fucking sinking, it's deep ass water. You know what I'm saying?
Was it clear or no?
No, it was clear. It was clear. Yeah, it was clear.
At least that.
At least.
Yeah, it was clear. And then the funny shit is though that we got lucky enough because I was able to, before it actually like went completely underwater, I was able to somehow like, bro, I was struggling, but I got to somebody's actual dock from a house. So they had their own dock and shit, bro. I got on their fucking property. Fuck that. I'm not drowning.
Yeah, hell
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So I got on the dock and here I am, me and my sister, because we both got on the dock and we were trying to pull the kayak up because it's trying to sink.
And it's
filling
heavy
with
as
water.
hell, yeah.
Bro, yeah, and then a dude on a boat goes by. He's like, oh, it looks like you guys are pretty lucky. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you guys are pretty lucky. We're like, how the fuck? He's like, because in a normal case, that kayak would have been gone already underwater. Ain't nobody trying to save that bitch. You guys are pulling that bitch up while it's full of water trying to save that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You should have just let it go. And we're over here like, great, why don't you stop your boat and help us?
He's like,
yeah,
you
good
guys
job,
are
guys.
great.
Yeah, you guys are sinking. Man, have a good day. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
guys
literally,
are on a dock.
bro,
You're good.
and the shit is just like the whole time. That was my first time experiencing it, man. I was thinking this shit is dope, and next thing you know, I'm fighting to not.
He's like, I
fucking
am never coming
go
out on
down.
that damn kayak again.
Now fuck that, man.
That's funny because I've been
that
telling.
shit was going down, bro. I'm over here like, hell no. If that dock wouldn't have been there, I had no life vest. Where the fuck am I gonna
I would suggest definitely still going again, but just inspect your kayak.
Yeah.
before you go out
definitely.
there.
But again, shit, it was the first time I didn't expect to be set up like that.
Yeah, exactly. You're just trying to get on there and go.
For real, I'm over here like, oh, this shit is dope, yo. And the next thing you know, I was like, wait, hold on.
Because I bought a paddleboard, and I have an inflatable paddleboard, and I go kayaking all the time. But the paddleboard, I'm excited. I still have not used it, but I'm going to be using it in the next couple weeks.
It's inflatable, so.
No, but it can carry up to 400 pounds.
Oh, perfect.
I already knew. I pretty much set him up for that one.
Perfect.
No, me and my wife went to Silver Springs kayaking, which we've kayaked before, but not at Silver Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And we went over there. That was actually the first time I saw the monkeys. I'd never seen with my own eyes the monkeys, which was dope. They're way smaller than I thought. But anyway, we were excited to take my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter. And so we haven't taken her yet, but I've been telling her about it. And she calls them like kaiwaks. So today I was actually watching Nat Geo, and it was about extreme rescues. Mm-hmm. And one of them was these two dudes who were in these remote mountains of like, shit, I don't even know what country they were in, but it was some probably like Indonesian, Asian country. But they were in the middle of the mountains. Like they had to hike through like 20 miles of woods, and they're carrying their individual kayaks through these like super remote trails. These are like extreme kayakers.
They set themselves up.
And they're driving and they're
For
diving.
a rescue mission.
Bro, yeah, they're dropping down like 80, 70 foot waterfalls on the kayaks to the point where they jump off.
And this is where?
I don't remember the country.
Okay,
I don't remember what country they were in because I was painting. I wasn't actually fully watching. But anyway, so their goal there is to drop waterfalls. And they're already used to the fact that when they drop that waterfall, they get flipped over.
Yeah.
And they just know how to roll themselves
Well, you see,
over.
there's a little technique where they roll over.
Yeah.
I've seen that shit too.
But
So-
those are special kayaks. Too.
Yeah, because they don't look the same. It's like you're sitting on top of it. You know what I mean? And so anyway, this guy, he was down at the bottom and he was recording his boy. They all had GoPros on. It's all like actual footage of the event, which is, side note, dope that now when all these things happen, so many people have cameras that you have the actual footage versus reenactments now.
Yeah, facts.
Because I remember back in the day, it was always reenactments, and you're like, damn. But anyway, so I thought that was dope. But they have all these actual footage of the events. So the dude is down at the bottom on he's on his kayak holding onto the rocks around him, and he has the camera on his boy on the waterfall. So then they whistle to each other. That was their signal, like, yo, I'm about to go. So his boy drops down the thing. His kayak, of course, flips, but halfway down, you see that his oar went. The paddle. So you see it like flips and goes crazy, and then he drops in and it's upside down, which at first wasn't alarming.
But the fact that
he threw it, the fact that he threw this thing was a red flag. So he's waiting for a minute, and it's a waterfall, so that water is pushing, right? And it had been 2 minutes, and his boy didn't flip. And he's like, what? So all of a sudden he starts trying to paddle, and I'm actually watching thinking, bro, there's no way he's getting up that, like getting to him because of the rush of water. So his boy that's upside down gets pinned under this like little cliff rock area. He's kind of like stuck in there. So his boy, he actually gets to him faster than I thought he would, but you could tell it was hard. And he gets to him, and he couldn't flip him because he's on his specialized kayak. And then you got all the water rushing. They're right in front of the waterfall, and he's trying to get his boy up. And he finally like picks his head out of the water, and then he has to end up just like pulling him out of the kayak and getting him to ground he didn't even get him to real ground. He brought him to like a little section of rocks. That's all he could get him to pull him up. And he started giving him, you could see he looks dead, bro. Like his body is literally blue. There's some blood. And then he's wearing, the guy who got knocked out was wearing a GoPro head cam. So even when he goes under and all that, you can see
all that footage,
all of it. And you can see blood in the water. And then he pulls him out and he's trying to like give him CPR.
And you said I should try kayaking again?
This is extreme.
That's extreme. Most extreme
no,
level.
that's part of the story.
That's the most extreme level.
Get the fuck out of here.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I ain't doing none of that shit now.
So he gives him CPR, bro, and he's like, at this point it had been several minutes, and he's smacking him, giving him CPR, like mouth to mouth, and he actually comes back too. So the guy ends up surviving. Wild story. He just to cut the story, finish it off. He ends up having to basically carry him on his kayak and paddle. They're in the middle of the wood, like jungle. He has to paddle out like 17 to 20 miles to hit the emergency button somewhere for emergency helicopters to come. So anyway, he ends up surviving. But my daughter's watching this. She's on the couch watching it while I'm painting. And she's like, oh, the kayak. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to go. And she sees this happen. And she's like, I don't want a kayak. And she like curls up on the couch. I'm like, baby, no, we're not doing that. That's extreme. We're just going to go on a calm river. Like, it's going to be a very calm river. So she's like, okay, I want a kayak on a calm river.
We're just going to the,
like, that's exactly
we're just going to the community pool and practicing.
Yeah, so I was like, I promise you it's going to be calm. She's like, okay, only a calm river. Only a calm river. I'm like, I shouldn't have put that on for her to watch.
Yeah, that was.
But you definitely have to go.
You shouldn't have
more.
put that on or even told me about it because look at that.
Actually, Jalen, who came to get the painting, he actually told me that he went kayaking for the first time with his girl, and he's like, his thing is dirt biking, like he was saying, and he's like, yo, I need like a backup hobby. I'm telling him like, yo, you can't just have one, you gotta have more. So he was like, I'm getting kayaks, bro. You gotta do it, bro.
I'll try it again.
Just don't get the one with holes in it.
I just got it. Yeah, right. And non-inflatables.
Yeah, I do, and the inflatable.
No, but this one's very
Listen,
sturdy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
anything inflatable, I don't trust.
Only reason, not because it's inflatable, and not that it's likely, but if you get a feisty gator and he nips at it, just in case, that thing's done.
Kayak, you're flipping over if a feisty gator.
I'm not talking about attacking you. I'm just saying. If he just nicks it, I'm talking about.
It's not gonna flip.
I'm not talking about flipping. It's inflatable.
The little nibble.
No, but it's heavy duty though, and mine has 3 tubing. So if he bites on the outsides,
so he
I'm
has
still
to bite
good.
through 3 other tubes still.
Yeah. I'm gonna just trust the plastic over the inflatable.
I'm just saying, I'm not over here using an inflatable in a jungle.
No, but there's, I mean, even
crocodiles and hippos. Like, bro, I'm trying to do it at the springs where I'm not trying to encounter this.
But there's still gators there. There's still gators
but
at the springs.
they stay away from humans at the springs.
For them, I'm saying it's not likely. But if
I'm not
going
to be going into unknown territory. That's what I'm saying.
If they do, I'm just saying I go to the springs too, and I don't have a problem.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying I didn't buy it to go in unknown territory. If I go in unknown territory, I'm definitely getting something way heavy.
If you go in known territory, there are still going to be gators, and you don't know.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
You never know. Well, if they look at you, they might be like, "Yo, I could eat for a month off this shit."
I'll let y'all find out first.
Oh yeah.
No, you won't catch me on the inflatable one. You won't catch me. That's like being on an Intex air mattress in the middle of the spring. I'm good, bro. I'm good. We about to get Intex sponsor in this episode.
It's not even the double. It's the single.
It's the twin. The twin. You fucking you're luging down the spring and shit. Cool runner style.
Shit, man. This is too much.
Yo, man. Yo, this has been a blast, bro. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
Great talk with you, bro.
For real, this is awesome.
What'd you think, man? You liked it?
Man, shit's dope, man.
Thank
you.
Know what I'm saying?
We got to actually share some pretty cool shit. And at the end of the day, man, you know, when my type of job, bro, you know, it's cool to be able to talk about these things because these are not things that come up in a normal conversation, you know what I'm saying? And it's just information that I've withheld, you know, from shit that
Don't hold back.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like we could do another one. There's more.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? We could probably go on for like another 2 hours because there's so many other things you can get into, but just the fact that we were able to touch upon those topics, you know what I'm saying? Again, awareness, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just to show you how powerful music is. Just
sure.
Sound in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And the fact that we do have the technology nowadays to manipulate people with it.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully in a good way.
In a
Yes,
good way,
exactly.
yeah, in a good way, you know, because the word manipulation off rip sounds bad,
Right, but you could do it in a good way.
But if you do it in a good way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you use it for the right reasons, and,
It all depends
and
on what
again,
type of world we're trying to create.
If you're a good parent, you're trying to manipulate your child to be a good person. You know what I mean? You're not trying to manipulate them to take advantage of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So yeah, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Using it to mold.
But you have a
whatever it is.
podcast too, though, don't you? Before you go, what is that?
So if y'all want to go ahead and check us out, me and JR, it's called YourRealLife.com, Your Real Life Podcast.
Shout out Hotaire, he be putting out good content.
For real, man, amazing content.
Shout
Man.
out.
I love you, man. He's all right now. You know, that's a busy man. You know, he's always out there making sure that the right messages and the right positivity and you know that real fuel that you need to get yourself motivated. He's out there putting in that footwork, giving those motivational speeches, or getting involved with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Just shout out to him because he's just so heavily involved, and it's amazing because again, you know, it's like you know, we get together, me and him, and do podcasts, and we share all this amazing information, and we hope that you know people take it in. You know what I'm saying? And to see the results of that to where, let's say, when you run into somebody and they can tell you, hey, man, I checked out your podcast. And
That's dope.
Yeah.
and
It's amazing
And the
feeling.
stuff, and the
That's
stuff
dope.
and the stuff that you talked about that day really hit here. Or, you know, we do a lot of challenges too, because in our podcast, the whole Your Real Life is just, our goal in our podcast is to help you align with you. You feel me? To help you understand, you know, like how you work just through you yourself. We're here just to guide you. We don't know you, but at the end of the day, you know, we all have the same goals. We all have, you know, same aspirations. We all, you know, want to find peace. And at the end of the day, we're just guys that are trying to remind you that it starts with you. And there's so many simple ways and little exercises that you can do to get you on that right path to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's been our mission, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, is just helping people align with themselves and giving them information and things that they can use to give them that starting point. Because one thing, like you said earlier, it's usually that first step that's the toughest, right? And the way we go about it is these same challenges that we offer to people, we put ourselves to the test on those challenges. Why? Because how are we going to tell you to try something and we're not applying it ourselves? You feel me? Like, these are things that we've applied and have been working for us, and we do everything and anything to document that, to also show you that, hey, we're applying this. So we're not just telling you because we think it's good for you. These are things that have been working for us, you know what I'm saying, and has been helping us. So if we can just bring that awareness, and that's our goal on that podcast, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things to help you to understand yourself and to align you with you, you know, time management, fulfillment, living in fulfillment, because that's another thing too. You know, we look at all the, you know, the money and all the stuff. You know, we glorify so many things, but to live in fulfillment, you don't need all that. You feel me? You just got to find your purpose, align yourself with you, and that's already part of living in fulfillment. Because once you do that, that positivity starts again. That ripple effect, it starts spreading to others. And there's others that are afraid to take that first step towards that positivity or to align themselves. So when they see you do it, just makes it easier for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do.
That's fire,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? We pretty much, all those challenges, man, me and him, like, we challenge ourselves. You feel me? And then our results is what we share with the people.
That's what's up.
Because then it's like, this is what it did for us. We can't promise you that is going to do the same for you, but here are the results, and here's a documentation of us going through that.
Do with
so
that
you
what you
can
like.
see that results coming to life, and maybe that same result, or maybe another that just gives you the same outcome, that fulfillment. Hopefully, it'll work for you. You know what I'm saying?
And what was that? What was the name of that again?
Okay, so the website is called YourRealLife.com. It's 1R, 1L. You know what I'm saying? So YourRealLife.com, and then the podcast is called Your Real Life Podcast.
Okay, and that's on all the platforms, Instagram.
All the platforms.
Did you guys
yes.
do TikTok yet?
He actually has the page ready for the TikTok.
Okay.
We have
Okay.
been posting content on the TikTok. As a matter of fact,
We were late on that.
we haven't we have another a set of 10 episodes. You know what I'm saying? That we're slowly right now, as he's doing his missions trips and doing the things he does. So we're just slowly releasing the content because at the end of the day, we don't want to just slam you with all this information and not giving you a chance to apply it and absorb it. You feel me? So right now we're just in that stage now. If you want to check out our first 10 episodes for the first, when we actually set it off, which another thing too, which is pretty cool about it is what I like about y'all name, it's like saying the human beings, right? It's like we have that same feel with ours. Why? Because when we're doing these podcasts, right? You see how the whole setting up and, bro, we keep all of our bloopers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And our bloopers are on our footage. Why? Because we want you to see that we're just normal human beings and we make mistakes too. And this is a learning process for us. So maybe where we fumbled, maybe at the moment while trying to get all this together going, you know what I'm saying? We're enjoying it. We're having fun about it. We're documenting it. We're letting you know. You know what I'm saying? So then like that, regardless, it's also still helping the next man that wants to do the same thing, how to avoid that mistake. You feel me? So that's literally
to show the genuinity between us all. It's the same thing that we try and do too.
That's all it is, bro. We're humans, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We make mistakes, and along those mistakes is where we learn. And at the end of the day, it's just
our goal is the same, which I equated it to raising awareness and raising consciousness.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Just know that again, we all make mistakes, and bro, this is a part of life. You know what I'm saying? This is part of the building blocks, man. And just nobody's perfect. That's honestly what I think. I think at least from my perspective, that's how I look at it. That's my biggest reason. That
is what's perfect.
That you know what I'm saying? That it's the imperfection. Just to show you that, because it's like everybody sees the success, but nobody sees the story behind that success and the struggles and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because they get caught up in the brightness and the pretty shit and all that. And that's why we want to make sure that we document and we put our mistakes out.
Right.
Because
that's
none
what makes
of this,
it beautiful.
That's why that's why we don't edit our episodes. It's just we're not gonna show you the best parts of what we're talking about.
Fuck that.
We want you to see the whole. There's sometimes people are like, like they'll look at the 3-hour episode and be like, oh man, it's so long, da 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 da, and it's like, well, we're sitting down having a real conversation, and we want you to hear the whole conversation.
And that's what's gonna raise more and making people more comfortable with stuff, because everything isn't all manipulated and shine good.
It's not filtered.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just like anything else in life, everything is being filtered through whatever they want you to see. You know what I'm saying? Just give them
see
that
it raw. We want it raw, baby.
Nah, you gonna get it raw, yo.
Raw
just straight
food,
up.
raw edits, raw everything.
Chill.
He said, "Hold on, I had
chill. Hold on, chill."
So if anybody wants to come visit the studio and get some music done,
all right. So definitely, man. For y'all out there that's gonna be tuning in, you know what I'm saying? My name again.
The millions of y'all listening.
My name, Argenis Rivera, aka Geniside. I'm here because this is Quarantine Studios. We're here to take care of all your audio needs. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to come in here. Whatever you want to experiment on. If it's recording, if you want to learn about production, if you want to learn about content creating, anything that's gonna help you be you. You know what I'm saying? Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm located here in Bellevue, Florida. Hey, I'll throw my number out there. It's okay. Almost everybody got it anyway. 352-480-9661.
IG?
IG mixed by Geniside. The way I spell Geniside is GENISIDE, not the other way where it's the whole violent. You know what I'm saying? Which, just to clarify that, because it's happened to me before. Because people be like, man, you go by Geniside, don't you? It's happened to me recently. Honestly, I had a gentleman on IG reach out on my inbox, which I respect him for it, because it's not like he went on social media and tried to blast me for it. He went personally and asked me why that I chose that name, and if I thought about the disrespect that it might bring to either people from the Holocaust and all this and that. And I told him, first of all, that I'm so grateful that he reached out to me, because everybody got their story behind what they, you know what I'm saying? And obviously my name is Argenis. Genis, you know what I'm saying? When I speak, when I produce, whatever it is, when I content create, you're getting my side of the story. you're getting Genesis side of the story, side of the story. You know what I'm saying?
I like
so
that.
that's where
That's dope.
it's not the whole I'm killing shit because
Yeah, yeah.
realistically I could say I'm killing shit because I'm good at what I do.
Killing it.
You know what I'm saying?
The good
like,
way.
listen, I have the
Hold on,
confidence.
my crystalline structure right now.
No, your crystals are been off.
But at the end of the day, like that's
Yeah.
just something I did want to clarify. You know, it never had to do anything with that negativity because at the end of the day, who am I to try to preach positivity and then have a name where it's like the complete opposite?
Constant murder.
You know what I'm saying?
I will
that-
tell you that this conversation with you has definitely made me very comfortable being able to walk in the studio because that's something I probably would never do. But seeing your side of it, how you are, and the process, the actual process of it, someone doesn't dwell in the music industry rarely at all. Like you would be someone I would want to work with.
He doesn't even listen to music, really.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for, bro. You know, again, it's all a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is very important. The respect for each other is very important. The respect for our energies and what we're trying to do is very important. So let's put it like this. I won you over, right?
Hell yeah.
Right? My intention is not to win you over just for the fact that I want you as a client. I want you to be able to come in here and create.
And
Be
create
you.
you. Yeah.
Be you. These are your creations. You know what I'm saying? So if my job, if my purpose in life, which, you know, getting to that, you know what I'm saying? Like if I want to look at it like if I found my purpose in life or something, I'm very happy where I'm at.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
in the sense, I'm not going to say I'm comfortable because you can never be too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because then you don't allow room for growth.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy where I'm at. Why? Because like I have the opportunity, like, man, people trust me. You know what I'm saying? And I have the opportunity to play such a huge part on changing somebody's life. They gave me that enough trust to be like, man, I depend on you to help me manifest. You know what I'm saying? These ideas or these things that are creations by me. Like that is such a powerful position, and I'm so grateful because again, man, it's a God-given gift, you know, and I'm just happy that I was able to tap into this because again, it wasn't in my plans. If we go back to the very first conversation on this podcast about my history, this wasn't in my plans. But if that's what it was meant to be, honestly, I'm very happy in the position I'm in. You know why? Because I get to play a huge part in a change for anybody. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like again, I know sometimes I might be a part of the problem, not intentionally, because of certain, you know, it's like the whole low frequencies and all that. But I'm still also in a position to bring you awareness about that when you walk in through this door.
And help change
You know
it,
what I'm saying? And help change it. And even if I didn't help change it, I at least bring you the awareness enough to where we both know that at the end of the day, the effects of this, you know what I'm saying? And
You're aware
yeah,
of
you're
what's
aware, you know,
happening.
exactly. And,
Right.
and man, you know, again, I'm just very, very grateful because this is not something I thought I would be doing. You know, I'm helping people manifest things while I'm also manifesting things for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because this definitely has changed my life in so many ways. I would have never, you know, I was a manager at Target, team lead at Target. You know what I'm saying? In electronics department. You know, I could have technically had a career there. You know, I could have stayed with that company. They took care of me. It's gonna sound crazy, but Target was a company that actually, when I worked for them, it's crazy to say that anybody could say, man, I love working for a place like that. They really took care of their employees. So, but they were also the same ones that told me when they saw me during my lunch breaks mixing people's music in a break room or sitting in my car or, you know what I'm saying, working on people's music in my car with my headphones or, you know, working 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift in Target, then getting out at 11 p.m. to go straight to the studio, work till about 5 a.m. in the studio just to then take a shower out of the sink and then go take a nap in the parking lot till my 2 p.m. shift came in for Target again. And these people in Target saw me doing that. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that told me, bro, you're killing yourself. This dream you're pursuing, you're going to achieve it. You'll always have your job back. If you need to pursue your dreams, quit now. And if you need your job back,
That's
and your
awesome,
dream,
bro.
you know what it is for a company to tell you, listen, bro, you're killing yourself and you're doing, you know, go pursue your dream because it seems like it's working. And we got your back. If all else fails, you could always have your job back.
That you don't
You know
hear
what I'm
that, bro.
saying? You don't hear
do
that at
not
all.
hear that.
That's
I got
so-
chills. Look, I got
Very,
chills. That's
very
dope
so
shit,
check
bro.
this out. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because me and my girlfriend, we had that conversation, you know what I'm saying, not so long ago because I went to the Target in the Villages and my who was the manager at the time, the store manager and the one in Ocala, the one I worked in, he's a store manager now in Lady Lake one. And I walked in there and it's crazy. I haven't seen him since I left Target. And his joke was, "You ready to get your job back?" But
shit.
But you know what's funny? It was a joke because he
It was
knew
love.
because it was love because he knew that I've been so successful and I got my own business and I got everything going. Because you know how he knew also? Because I be getting people inboxing me on Facebook looking for studio time, and they be like, "Hey, yeah, this guy such and such who worked at Target with you," and I haven't seen him for like 4 or 5 years, referring people just because he hears I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
So then for me to run into him, he's still a store manager, and then joking around, he's like, "Oh, you still want your job back?" And it's like, very damn well, it's been 4 years since I left this motherfucker, and I'm not coming back because of y'all and because of my own efforts and y'all believing in me. I didn't have to.
That's
You know what I'm
fire,
saying? Thank
bro.
you for that joke type shit.
Most people
Like,
have the
thank you for that
complete-
joke because that's the motivation. Like, motherfucker, I'm still not coming back to Target.
Most people have the complete opposite effect from their employer.
Yeah.
So that's super
exactly.
dope. That's
So-
super, and it crushes them, and
Oh,
they don't
man.
ever do it because of that. Because they're
Bro.
like, now what?
That's why I am so grateful again, because even something like that, you don't hear shit like that. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed to have that happen in my life.
You were
Like,
definitely meant to be
yeah.
doing this, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh shit, if it's like that, and there's people that just know me from a hole in the wall, and I just started working here yesterday, and you believe in me that much because you see me busting my ass on my spare time.
Mhm.
Like, come on, man, I'm the only.
You put in the work though,
Yeah, I'm
but
the only
that's the
cat in break
that's the
room with a
thing.
laptop and the headphones. Everybody, during my lunch break from work, mixing people's work.
And you
know
don't
what
see
I'm
that either. You don't see that either.
So it's like,
one comes with the other, bro.
the hard work was recognized, and again, man, I'm just grateful I have the ability to
For
do
sure.
it all,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I'm
Hey,
grateful to have
yeah.
met you for real, bro.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, me
my
too, bro.
experience with you has definitely helped me in a way that I didn't get anywhere else. So I
Well,
appreciate you,
I
bro.
appreciate that because again, man, just being here with you guys too, man, just makes me realize also how much I love life, though, man. These experiences, this form of networking, this form of sharing information, and at the end of the day, bringing awareness to each other,
Connecting.
and being able to be in a room full of people where we're all there. You feel me?
Mhm.
Like I could be straight up. We might not be at that 432, but we're talking like it.
Yeah.
And that's what's important because that means we're just getting a step closer to
Yes.
it.
For sure.
You feel me? And it's just a lovely feeling. And again, man, I'm blessed just to be with y'all here.
Thank you,
man.
bro.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Just
much.
drop
for
the
this.
KFC,
Hey.
but you'll get there
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop it later when I get to the.
Hey, love, bro. Hey,
Hey.
but that's it. Episode 20. We appreciate it.
yes.
Great talk, man.
And that's
Pleasure
a wrap,
meeting you.
baby.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's gonna be tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all follow these boys, man. This is amazing work. This is amazing content. And at the end of the day, we're all just trying to give y'all information to better align yourselves, man.
Thank
And
you, bro.
We're doing it in the same
Human
you know what I'm
beings,
saying?
baby.
Human beings,
Geniside.
baby. You know what I'm saying? Human beings. You're real life.
Thank you, bro.
Let's go.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
We did it. Bro, that is amazing. Thank you so much.
3 hours.